Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto joins Anbu after training trip part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Tsunade sighed as she looked at the Anbu sitting across from her. She couldn't understand it, but wherever this Anbu operative went, a large stack of paperwork was soon to follow. Are you sure you want to do this now, Reaper? Can't you wait a little while longer? The Anbu forces could really use the skills you have acquired over the past few years. And your record over the past year has even surpassed Kakashi's and Itachi's. You are becoming somewhat of a legend around here. Tsunade said. Even if she wouldn't admit it, she was quite impressed with the growth the young man in front of her had achieved over the past 3 years. Hi, Hokage-sama. I've been away from my friends for too long now, and while I have earned a few new friends in Anbu, my place is with the Konoha 11. Don't worry though, Hokage-sama. I'll still be available for missions if you need me. I've appreciated everything you have done for me over the past 3 years. Training in Anbu as well as with Erosenin has really helped me change from who I once was, Reaper said gratefully. Alright, Reaper, I'll sign the papers and send you over to Anbu HQ. You will be reinstated as a special jounin until we can have someone evaluate your skills. Even though I should promote you straight to jounin, you were only technically a genin when you entered Anbu, and that was hard enough for me to explain to the council. This will at least keep them off our case for the moment, Tsunade said as she pulled out 2 sheets of paper and started to sign them. Bachan, why are you signing 2 sheets? Shouldn't there only be one? The Anbu asked, as he ran his hand through his spiky blonde hair. God damn it, Naruto, why can't you keep calling me Tsunade-sama, or Hokage-sama? Tsunade yelled as a tick mark formed on her head. And these second papers are for Nico-san. She asked to be taken off Anbu duty whenever you quit so she could be placed on a team with you. Aside from changing that young woman's view on life, you seemed to have made quite the impression on her as well, she added with a smirk, enjoying the faintest of blushes that appeared on Naruto's face. I didn't do that much. She used to help me a lot when I was little. I just thought I would return the favor, Naruto said, scratching the back of his head in slight embarrassment. But okay, I would be happy to work with Nico-san if that is what she wants. She is one of the only people who can give me a decent kenjutsu spar anyways, Naruto said. Alright, brat, take these papers to Anbu HQ. Make sure to find Nico-san before handing the papers into Tenzo, Tsunade said as she handed the papers to Naruto, who left via Shunshin to his destination. His growth rate has been extraordinary over the past 3 years, hasn't it, Tsunadeheim? Came the voice of Jiraiya as he entered the Hokage Tower through the open window. I'm almost glad he denied my request to train him. Even as one of the legendary Sannin, there would be only so much I could teach him. Yes, Naruto has definitely exceeded my expectations. However, I am happy that you still managed to train him every so often over the course of the past few years. I really don't think there would be a lot of people who could keep up with him now, Tsunade said as Jiraiya took the seat Naruto was just in. He learns as quickly as his father did when I was his sensei. It's almost scary how much Naruto resembles his old man. It won't be long before people start to recognize who he is, Jiraiya said, suddenly getting serious. While Naruto is capable of handling himself against tough enemies, when we reveal his lineage it will put a big target on Konoha from both IWA and to a lesser degree Kumo. Tsunade sighed, leaning back in her chair while looking at the portrait of the Yondaime Hokage. Indeed, however, this is what Naruto wants. Besides, he will not be alone. Naruto has made a lot of powerful friends while in Anbu, and don't forget that everyone in the Konoha 11 are quite capable themselves. Hopefully now he will be able to get the recognition he has wanted his entire life. Then what about the council? Surely they will try and get Naruto into the CRA, and Naruto probably wouldn't like being forced into something like that, Jiraiya asked. Honestly? I'm not sure how to go around bringing that up around Naruto. We will have to talk to him about it, and see what he wants to do with the information. I'm not going to force him into anything he doesn't want to do, council be damned, Tsunade replied. Alright, well, I'll leave talking about that to the brat. Up to you, Tsunadeheim. My opinion might be a little biased, Jiraiya said with a lecherous grin, earning a smack from Tsunade. Stupid pervert, she sighed as she looked out the window. 15 minutes later, Anbu HQ. Naruto sighed as he entered Anbu HQ. He had greatly enjoyed his time in Anbu, and if he had to be honest with himself, deciding to leave was probably one of the hardest decisions he had made since deciding to join in the first place. Asking around for Nico, Naruto finally located her in one of the many training facilities going through her kenjutsu katos, and waited till she was finished to address her. As good as ever, Yuga-chan, Naruto said as he made his presence known. I just came from Tsunade-sama's office and have some papers you might be interested in looking at. What have I told you before about using my real name, Reaper-san? Yuga said in a bit of a teasing tone. Not to, but come on, Yuga-chan, when have I ever been one to follow the rules? Naruto replied with a smirk as he took his Anbu mask off, revealing his well-defined facial features. Over the past few years, Naruto had pushed himself to be able to get to his current level, and his body showed it. While he wasn't a muscle-bound freak like some shinobi the yandame reikage ***, you could tell he was muscular, even through his Anbu uniform. Touche, Yuga muttered as she took the sheet of paper Naruto offered it before reading it. Naruto watched in amusement as Yuga's eyes went wide before a gentle smile crossed her face. That and the fact that neither of us are Anbu anymore, Naruto said with a smirk, although I have to ask why you wanted to leave to be on a team with me? I thought you loved being in the Anbu. I did, and I still do, but for the longest time me being in Anbu was so I could forget about Haikun. For a while I had even hoped that doing S-ranked mission after S-ranked mission would eventually make me able to see him again. Yuga started as she too took her Anbu mask off. When Tenzo said that you would be joining Anbu, I was surprised. From what I remembered at the time, you had little to no skill as a shinobi. Hey! I take offense to that, I knew a few things. Naruto said with a pout, making Yuga smile again. 2 techniques do not count as a few things, Naruto-kun, and while I admit I was impressed that you knew both the Rasengan and Shadow Clone Jutsu, you should have known other things as well. But you took your first year of training here very seriously, and after learning the secret of the Shadow Clone you started improving in leaps and bounds, quickly rising through the ranks of Anbu, almost to the same degree as Kakashi-senpai and Itachi-san. Yuga stated, making Naruto blush slightly at being praised by the beautiful Kunoichi. Yeah, alright, but that still doesn't answer why you want to be on a team with me, Yuga-chan. I mean, I'm probably gonna be put with Kakashi-sensei for a while again until I can get my full promotion. You sure you can put up with him without trying to kill him? Naruto asked. I think I could manage, Naruto-kun. And to answer your question, the day you asked me to start teaching you Kenjutsu is probably what impacted this decision most. If not for that day, we would never have become friends and I would most likely still be trying to get myself killed doing S-ranked missions. You made me realize that I still had a lot to live for, and that Haikun wouldn't want me to be how I was. Yuga said as she gained a semi-faraway look in her eyes. You give me too much credit, Yuga-chan. What kind of friend would I be if I couldn't help you? And besides, you were there for me a lot when I was little, so it should be me who is thanking you. Naruto said with a smile. We should probably go and see Tenzo now so we have enough time to get all of our stuff cleaned out of our lockers and go back to see Tsunade Bachan. You are never going to stop calling her that, are you, Naruto-kun? Yuga asked with smirk. Nah, especially to her face. It's a good way to test my reaction time whenever she hurls something at my face. He replied with a laugh as they both left the training room on their way to see the Anbu commander. Tsunade's office, same time. Shizen, please get me Naruto's graduating class as well, guys team, and their sensei, Tsunade said into the intercom, hearing Shizen give a swift reply. Tsunade couldn't help but feel a little nervous for what she was about to reveal to Naruto's friends, and if she had to be honest, she didn't know how a few of them would take it. 15 minutes later, teams 8, 9, and 10, as well as Sakura, all entered Tsunade's office, curious looks on their faces as to why all of them had been summoned at the same time. You requested our presence, Tsunade-sama? A tall bearded man asked. Yes, Asuma-san, I called you all here regarding Naruto's disappearance about 3 years ago. Tsunade said, immediately catching Kakashi's attention. Even though he knew where Naruto was, he was hoping that he would be able to go on missions with his student once again, as well as the rest of the Konoha 11. It's been 3 years already, Hokage-sama. Time sure flies. Kakashi said in a bored tone, making the other Jounin senseis look at him with surprise. Your student disappears for 3 years and that's all you can say when we finally get word on what happened to him? A woman with beautiful red eyes said in surprise. I can't help but agree with Kurenai-san, although something leads me to believe that you know where your student has been. Care to elaborate, Kakashi-san? Asuma asked, making everyone look at the silver-haired Jounin. So what if I did? I was never at liberty to talk about what happened to Naruto-kun. And before any of you say anything, he swore me into secrecy. But I can assure you, Asuma-san, Kurenai-san, that my student is fine and has recently been carving his own path through our shinobi ranks. Kakashi said before closing his book and pocketing it. Kakashi-san is right, on both accounts that Naruto is both okay, and has been making quite the name for himself in the past year. Tsunade said as she nodded her head in agreement. Tsunade-sensei, why would Naruto just disappear without telling any of us where he was going? That doesn't seem like something Naruto would do. A girl with short pink hair said. I have to agree with Sakura, Tsunade-sama. It seems highly unlikely that someone like Naruto would disappear without at least telling his friends he was alright, especially since his disappearance was right after the failed Sasuke retrieval mission. Kurenai said, looking back and forth between Kakashi and the busty Hokage. Both you and Sakura are right, Kurenai-san, the Naruto you knew would never do something like that. But the Naruto you once knew is no longer alive. Tsunade said with a small smile, shocking everyone present. No longer alive, you can't mean? Sakura started only to be cut off by Tsunade. No, Sakura, Naruto is not dead, but he is no longer who you once knew. The past 3 years has changed him drastically. He is no longer the blonde idiot who runs around using Kage Bunshin to solve all his issues. After the mission, Jiraiya came by to ask Naruto to become his apprentice. Tsunade said. You can't be serious. Jiraiya of the Sannin, one of the most powerful shinobi alive today, asked the class dead last to become his apprentice. A boy with a black jacket standing beside a large white dog said. You should be careful as to how you talk about Naruto now, Kiba-san. Like I said, he is no longer the boy you guys once knew, and he would take offense to what you just said. Tsunade said as she glared at the boy, making him shrink slightly. Well, that would make sense. With a teacher like Jiraiya, I'm sure Naruto has become a lot stronger since we last saw him. A boy wearing a big baggy green coat said. Indeed he would have, if he had accepted the pervert's proposal to train him. Tsunade said, and smirked as everyone present looked at her like she had grown a second head. Naruto refused to be trained by one of the Sannin. Why would he do something like that? Asuma asked. It's not an everyday occurrence to be offered training by one of the legendary Sannin. Indeed he did. The reason why is that Jiraiya would have had to take him away from the village for 3 years to train him, and Naruto didn't like the idea of being away from his home for so long. But that doesn't mean Naruto has not received training from that stupid pervert, he just never had to leave the village to obtain it. Tsunade said. So Naruto has been in the village for the past 3 years, then how come none of us have ever seen him? Sakura asked, looking between Kakashi and her current sensei, hoping at least one of them could give her an answer. The reason for that, Sakura, will be explained as soon as Naruto gets here, which should be fairly soon actually. Tsunade said. And she was right. A few minutes later someone knocked on her door and it opened to reveal two Anbu, one of which Kurenai recognized, but the other made her eyes widen and had to use all of her training to not be put on guard by this man in front of her. He was a tall man who radiated power and respect, but that's not what scared her. The man's attire is what put her on guard. The standard gray Anbu equipment had been dyed black, and wear and tear was evident on his armor, sword scratches, holes, and burn marks. Over top of the armor was a long, ragged black cloak that had a large hood which covered a lot of the Anbu's face, but not enough for Kurenai to not be able to recognize the mask. Reaper, Kurenai whispered, immediately earning both Guy's and Asuma's attention as they too were busy studying the Anbu in front of them. What's so special about that mask? Sakura asked Kurenai, as she tried hard to suppress her fear of the man who just entered the room. Each Anbu mask is special to those who wear them, but there are select few who get masks custom made. The Reaper mask is one of, if not the, rarest Anbu masks to be given out. Kakashi explained, a hint of pride evident in his voice. Of course he had known of Naruto's growth in Anbu over the past 3 years, but to be given the Reaper mask, that was something that not even he could have done, and he was regarded as one of the best Anbu in Konoha's history. Kakashi-senpai is right. The Nico masked Anbu said. The Reaper mask is one of the highest honors you can get in Anbu. Not even Kakashi was eligible for the mask after his term in Anbu, and he was regarded as one of the best to have ever graced the Anbu ranks. Even our current commander still calls him senpai. Nico said in a teasing tone. Even though I wish he didn't, but may I ask why you are here, Nico-san? Kakashi asked. Everything will be explained shortly, senpai, but continuing on, the Reaper mask has a few conditions that need to be met before it can be given out. For starters, a perfect record for missions, including S-ranked. Aside from that, a certain number of both A and S-ranked missions must be completed. Lastly, and probably the hardest for us Anbu because we don't get put in bingo books often, is an S rank with a flea on sight rank given in every bingo book across the elemental nations, including the small ones. Nico finished, making the rookies go wide-eyed as they looked at the person who, judging by hire, couldn't have been much older than them. I really wish you wouldn't have brought them here, Tsunade-sama. You should have asked, or at least told me in advance. Reaper said. I'm sorry, Reaper, I just thought this would have been best. The Hokage replied. Fine, but I want something in return for this. Reaper said, shocking the genin and jounin at the bold declaration. If I may, Anbu-san, but you are in no position to demand anything from the Hokage. Asuma said, earning nods from a few in the room. You are in no position to tell me what I may or may not do, Asuma-san. My relation with Tsunade-sama is mine and mine alone, you would do well to remember that. Reaper said in a cold tone. You may have the Reaper mask, but you don't scare me. Asuma said as he reached for his trench knives, but froze as he felt a kunai held against his back as Reaper appeared behind him, shocking those present with his speed. You should, Reaper whispered in his ear, before disappearing and reappearing beside Nico, who shook her heads at his actions. That's enough, both of you! Tsunade yelled, before sitting back down and burying her face in her hands. As interesting as this is, Hokage-sama, what does this have to do with Naruto? Kurenai asked. Nothing, like Tsunade-sama has probably already told you, the Naruto you all knew died a long time ago. Reaper said, gaining everyone's attention yet again. How would you know Anbu-san? A girl in a traditional-style Chinese dress with her hair in dual bun said. Because I killed him, Reaper replied, shocking everyone before he and Nico removed their masks. And Naruto, Sakura stammered. How, why? What do you mean why? Please elaborate, Sakura-san. Naruto replied, shocking the young girl at how he addressed her. He had always addressed her as Sakura-chan before, and she would never admit it to anyone, but it hurt that he didn't call her that. Why didn't you tell any of us what you were doing? We all thought you were dead. I thought we were a team? Sakura asked, tears threatening to fall from her eyes. You finally decided to care, Sakura-san? Naruto scoffed. While I do admit we were a team, we weren't a very good one. As you have all said in the past, I was the dead last. Sakura has book knowledge but couldn't put it to practice in the field. And all Sasuke cared about was getting revenge on his clan. He didn't give two fucks about us, and he proved that when he shoved a Chidori through my chest. As that conversation was going on, Kurenai had brought Yuga off to the side as well. She knew how much her friend loved to be in Anbu and was surprised to see her here with Naruto. What did you pull me aside for, Kurenai-chan? Yuga asked her friend. What do you mean what? I thought you loved Anbu. Why are you here with Naruto, who is apparently leaving Anbu? Kurenai asked, making Yuga sigh, as she had not expected her friend to be there when she resigned. I made arrangements with Tsunade-sama a while ago, asking to be placed on a team with Naruto-kun when he decided to resign from Anbu. She explained. Kurenai's eyes slightly widened when she heard Yuga call him kun but decided not to ask about it. That still doesn't help me understand why Yuga-chan, Enko and I have been asking you to leave Anbu for years and you never listened to us. And now just like nothing Naruto makes you want to leave. What happened over the past 3 years? Kurenai asked, curious as to why Naruto was suddenly able to get through to her friend. Mention of Naruto's name managed to snap a young indigo-haired girl out of the trance she had been in after learning Naruto was in fact the Reaper masked Anbu, and decided to listen in on the older women's conversation. I'm not entirely sure myself, Kurenai-chan, but Naruto-kun was able to change how I viewed life. After Hayate-kun's death I didn't know what to do, so I began doing S-ranked mission after S-ranked mission, trying to keep my mind of things, or worse, get killed. A few months after Naruto had joined Anbu, though he had sought me out for kenjutsu training, at first I was a little skeptical about training him because from what I could remember about him he was never very talented. At first I said no, but he kept pestering me until I finally caved in. He took the training in like a sponge and is now easily one of the best kenjutsu users in Konoha, only slightly behind myself. After a few missions together Naruto noticed that I was troubled by something, and being the caring person that he is confronted me on it. She explained, gaining a semi-faraway look in her eyes that didn't go unnoticed by either Kurenai or Hinata, who by this time was a little jealous of the strange woman being able to get so close to Naruto too quickly. What happened then? I know how hard it is for you to talk about what happened with hate, Kurenai asked, while at the same time silently thanking Naruto for being the one who changed her friend. Naruto has a calming aura around him that makes it feel like you can pretty much trust him with anything. In the end I caved and told him about what happened. That night was the first time since Hayate's death that I broke down and cried, but he was there for me the entire time to comfort me. Yuga said with a smile as she looked at Naruto being surrounded by his friends. I'm happy for you, Yuga-chan. It sounds as if you were finally able to move on from hate. It sounds like you and Naruto are really close, Kurenai said, and smirked slightly as she saw a slight blush cross the kenjutsu specialist's face. It's nothing like that, Kurenai-chan, we are just friends. Although just between us girls, you should see him under that Anbu armor. Yuga replied, blushing at the memories of walking in on Naruto without his gear on, much to Kurenai's amusement. Back with Naruto he was doing his best to answer all the questions being asked by his old friends, as well as avoiding Ino who was getting just a little too close for his comfort. Looking around he noticed Yuga and Kurenai talking, which brought a smile to his face, remembering all the stories he had been told from Yuga. As much as I'm enjoying this attention guys, we need to finish up here. We can all catch up later on or whenever I have my skills assessment, Naruto said, hoping to finish this as quickly as possible. Skills assessment? What's that? Ino asked. Naruto is going to be given an assessment on his skills to be able to properly gauge his rank. Even though he has become an S-ranked shinobi in the bingo books, the council wants a demonstration of his skills. The only person in this room who has actually seen Naruto fight seriously would be Yuga-san, the other Anbu who is with Naruto. Naruto's current rank will be Special Jounin until I can arrange someone to give Naruto an assessment, Tsunade explained, but sighed as she saw a grin spread across Asuma's face, as well as Kiba's. Hokage-sama, would you mind if I gave Naruto the rest? Asuma asked, making Kakashi, Yuga, and Tsunade narrow their eyes at the bearded Jounin. Naruto's show earlier must have really pissed him off. I would also like to test Naruto's skills, Hokage-sama, Kiba declared. Asuma I would be alright with because he has a lot of experience as a Jounin, but Kiba I'm not sure about. You have not been jounin for very long, Tsunade said. It's fine, Bachan, they can both fight against me if they want. I must have really hurt your pride earlier, Asuma-san, if you're willing to go through with this, Naruto explained. Like I said before, brat, you don't scare me, Asuma replied, just tell me when and where. We will have the assessment tomorrow morning, at Training Ground 7, you are all welcome to come watch, Tsunade said. Now that that's out of the way, I want to ask all of you aside from Yugao-chan and Kakashi-san to leave so we can talk to the Hokage and Shizen in private. We can meet up sometime later and talk about what's happened over the past 3 years, Naruto said, making Tsunade nod, already guessing about what Naruto wanted to talk about. Why do we have to leave though? We should be able to stay if it has to do with you, Sakura asked. Because this matter doesn't concern any of you yet, I'm sure you will figure it out in the near future. Now aside from the people Naruto asked to stay, the rest of you are dismissed, Tsunade said. Naruto sighed after everyone had left, and took a seat on one of the chairs across from Tsunade. That could have gone better. It was a bad idea to bring them all here, Naruto said, earning a nod from Yuga and Kakashi. I know, I'm sorry Naruto-kun, I kind of expected Kiba to act like that, but definitely not Asuma. His attitude towards you surprised me, Tsunade replied as she reached under her desk and pulled out a bottle of sake. Yeah, well, that's none of my concern. If they still have issues with me after tomorrow, it's their own fucking fault. Now I'm sure you know why I wanted to talk to you all in private, right? Naruto said before running through a few hand signs and put up a silencing seal around the office. I'm assuming it's about your parents, and to a latter extent your inheritance, right? Tsunade asked, making Naruto nod his head. Yeah, it is, for the most part. I'm not too worried about when you want to tell everyone about my parents. I'm more worried about the kind of attention the village will get as a whole from IWA and to an extent anyone who I'm close to, Naruto said, stealing a quick glance at Yuga that didn't go unseen by the Hokage or Kakashi. While I'm confident in my own skills about taking on large groups of enemies, not everyone has the same amount of chakra that I do, and that would put them at a large disadvantage, as I can pretty much assure you that if IWA was to send people after me, it would be a small group at least. You make a good point, Naruto-kun. IWA would use any means necessary to get to you, including taking your friends as hostages in exchange for yourself. Not to mention the lingering threat of the Akatsuki. Jiraiya said they have been a little more mobile lately, Kakashi said. We will deal with the Akatsuki at a later time. I think our main threat right now will be IWA, and to a lesser extent Kumo and Kiri. But there are a few other things that I want to talk to you about, Naruto, which will include your status as a clan head, Tsunade said. If you are going to talk to me about the Ciare Hokage-sama, then I am already well aware of what that means for me. I still have a couple years to decide if I want to be put under the Ciare, so I will have to get back to you on that, Naruto said, not really surprising Tsunade, as it was Anbu protocol to keep up to date with Konoha's laws. Alright, well, that is pretty much everything I wanted to talk to you about, Naruto-kun. I have a scroll for you that contains both yours and Yugao-san's Jounin vests, as well as the key to your parents' estate, Tsunade said as she pulled out a scroll and handed it to Naruto. Thank you, Hokage-sama. I will see you tomorrow at Training Ground 7. Naruto replied before doing a few more hand seals and releasing the silencing seal before he and Yugao left the office. He has grown a lot, hasn't he, Tsunade-sama? Kakashi asked, making the Hokage smile and nod her head at the elite Jounin. With Naruto and Yugao. So Naruto-kun, do you even know where you are going? Yugao asked, making the blonde scowl at her. Of course I do. I looked up where my parents' estate was a few months ago. Naruto explained. What about you? Do you have anywhere to stay? Well, I could probably crash at Kurenai-chan's or Anko-chan's place for a while. Yugao said she didn't really have a place to stay as she no longer had the keys to the apartment Hate and her had shared before he died. I see. How about you stay with me for a while? Naruto asked, slightly shocking Yugao, before she got a teasing look on her face. I don't know, Naruto. I don't think you could handle me just yet, she said. I wouldn't worry about that, Yugao-chan. I'm a stamina freak who knows Kage-bunshin. I'm sure I could take care of all your needs, Naruto said seductively, making the ex-Anbu captain blush slightly. But seriously, Yugao-chan, we used to sleep in the same tent when we were on missions. I'm sure there are tons of rooms in my parents' house, or you could even sleep in one of the smaller houses around the compound. Yugao thought about his offer. She really had nowhere to go, and while she was sure Kurenai and Anko would take her in, it wouldn't be very comfortable for her, as they both only had one-bedroom apartments. And she had to admit Naruto had a valid point about their previous sleeping arrangements when they were on missions together. Alright, Naruto-kun, if you're sure you're okay with this, then I'll gladly accept your offer, thank you, Yugao said with a smile, which in turn caused Naruto to smile. Things were starting to look up for both of them. With nothing for either of them to grab, Naruto and Yugao quickly made their way over to the clan district to find the Namake's compound, which was located between the Hyuga and Abram clan compounds, not sure if they are close in the actual show or not, but just run with it. The first thing Naruto noticed when they reached the gate was the intricate seal design that covered it. Taking a few moments to study the seal, Naruto nodded before molding his chakra and putting his hands on the gate. "What are you doing, Naruto-kun?" Yuga asked. As a Kenjutsu specialist, she had never really studied any Fuinjutsu other than basic sealing scrolls and exploding tags. "My father and mother were both masters of Fuinjutsu, and judging by this seal, he wanted this place to be the safest place in Konoha. It's a high-level chakra seal that will only open if someone who has the same blood as either my father or mother applies their chakra to it. After we get inside, I'll tweak it so that whoever I add to the seal will be able to enter," Naruto explained. "Good explanation, brat. It looks like my time teaching you Fuinjutsu didn't go to waste after all," a voice from behind them said. They turned to see both Kakashi and a man with long white hair approaching them. "Whatever, Ero-sennin, I'm going to assume that both you and Kakashi-sensei can enter, right? You being my father's sensei and Kakashi his student would only make sense," Naruto said, earning a nod from the Toad Sage. "It's been a while since I've seen you, Naruto. I wanted to see just how much my student has grown, as well as see my sensei's house again," Kakashi said, never taking his eye off his little orange book. "Alright, if either of you break anything you owe me, come on Yuga-chan, let's go," Naruto said, making the other two aware of her presence, but they decided to shrug it off for now. Entering the compound, Naruto and Yuga couldn't help but marvel at how beautiful everything was. Large oak trees lined the walls, while inside a large assortment of flowers lined the marble walkways. "It's beautiful, but how has everything been so well kept over the past 16 years? Surely no one has been in here since my parents died?" Naruto asked. "The Uzumaki clan was well known for their knowledge of seals. Add your mother's knowledge to your father's skill for creating and mastering Fuinjutsu, and they were able to come up with seals to keep the outside well kept. Seals that work like sprinklers to water the flowers, as well as a few that release low-level futon jutsus to keep the grass well cut. If I wouldn't have already known about this, I would be just about as amazed as you are right now," Jiraiya explained. "Aside from those, there are a lot of security seals spread out around the grounds. Minato had a lot of enemies, and when he found out Kushina was pregnant with you, he made this place as safe as possible." "I see, that's good then. I will have to take a look at my father's notes and figure out what every seal does, maybe add a few more now that the Akatsuki is also an issue," Naruto said, earning a nod from the Toad Sage. "We should get everything inside and unpacked before having to leave to meet up with everyone, Yuga-chan." "So Yuga-san is going to be living with you, Naruto-kun? Are you guys like?" Kakashi said, leaving the question in the air as he made little movements with his hands, reminding the blonde of what Konohamaru did to Sakura before the Chunin exams. "No, Kakashi-sensei, we aren't. Yuga-chan is just staying with me because she has nowhere else to go," Naruto said with a sigh before entering the house, followed shortly by a semi-blushing Yuga. Right, Kakashi said as he followed them in. "Well, at least the outside was well kept," Naruto said as he looked around his new house. He was hoping his father had a similar setup inside as he did outside, but judging by the amount of dust and cobwebs, it had been too much to ask for. Naruto made 10 shadow clones and sent 2 of them upstairs with his and Yugao's bags, while telling the rest of them to start cleaning as he, Yuga, Kakashi, and Jiraiya started to explore the house. Even with all the dust, Naruto had to admit it was a beautiful house, but having lived in a shitty apartment since he was little, just about anything else would feel nice. The main floor was home to the living room, dining room, and kitchen, while the upstairs was mainly bedrooms and bathrooms. Downstairs was home to what Naruto was interested in the most, the library, which held all of his father's notes on sealing as well as the Hiraishin Jutsu. Looking around, Naruto found a variety of different sealing methods, as well as some of the Uzumaki clan scrolls for jutsus and kenjutsu katos. "This place is as impressive as I remember it. Some of these scrolls contain long-lost sealing methods and jutsus, as well as the Uzumaki kenjutsu style, which was considered one of the most formidable forms of kenjutsu," Jiraiya stated as he and Kakashi looked through some of the scrolls. "I'll be sure to take a look at them later. If you want, Yuga-chan, you can look through the kenjutsu scrolls later as well. For now, I want to finish exploring the grounds," Naruto said as he started making his way back upstairs. "Hey Naruto-kun, where did your clones put my stuff? I want to change out of my Anbu uniform for now," Yuga asked as they made their way back to the main entrance of the house. "They put your bags upstairs, last door on the left, Yuga-chan," Naruto replied, making the kenjutsu specialist nod and disappear upstairs. "You two seem pretty close, brat. You sure there is nothing else going on here?" Jiraiya asked with a lecherous grin. "Shut it, you pervert, like I said earlier, we're just friends," Naruto replied as he glared at the old pervert, who just shrugged it off and walked outside. "Whatever, brat, I'm going to go do some research. I'll see you guys in the morning for your skills assessment," Jiraiya said as he shined out of the compound. "I think I'm going to take off as well, Naruto. I've already seen the rest of the grounds before. But I will catch up with you guys later when you meet everyone else, alright? Kakashi said, earning a nod from the blonde as he decided to use the gate to get out. A few minutes later, Yuga came out of the house dressed as a normal jounin, and Naruto would be lying if he said he didn't find the kunoichi to be very attractive. Where did Jiraiya-sama and Kakashi-senpai go, Naruto-kun? Yuga asked as she walked up to Naruto, who was currently trying his best not to stare at her. The pervert said he was going to go do some research, which means peeking on the women's bathhouse, and Kakashi left to do Kakashi things, I guess, probably trying to come up with a few more lame-ass excuses as to why he is late all the time. Naruto replied, earning a light giggle from Yuga. Alright, well, let's finish looking around, and then we can go get something to eat before meeting up with everyone, Naruto said as they started walking around the compound a little more. Back behind the house they found the training grounds, and a few ponds and steams to practice Suiton jutsus. It's gorgeous back here, Yuga said as she took everything in. Yeah, it's definitely something else. My old man sure knew how to make the most of the space given to him, Naruto replied. I'm going to go change, and then we can go grab something to eat before meeting up with everyone else, alright? A few minutes later Naruto appeared wearing standard Anbu pants and combat boots, with kunai holsters on each leg, and a black tank top over a mesh armor shirt. Yuga couldn't deny that Naruto was attractive. He had grown a lot over the past few years, and now easily stood as tall as Kakashi. Having lost all of his baby fat over 3 years of rigorous training, he had a very defined figure, and you were able to easily see his muscles underneath his mesh armor. He had let his hair grow out, and now had the same jaw-length bangs that framed his face, just like his father. Yuga was sure that Naruto would start having issues with fangirls, especially after his status as the Namikaze clan leader was announced. The thought of Naruto having fangirls made Yuga feel weird inside. She couldn't exactly pinpoint what the feeling was just yet, but she would have to talk to someone about it eventually. Ready to go, Yuga-chan? Naruto asked as he made his way over to her. I'm ready, Naruto-kun. Where did you want to go? She asked as they started walking towards the gate. How about that sushi bar you always talked about on missions? Naruto asked as they stepped out, but came face to face with someone he didn't want to deal with just yet. Hinata Hyuga. Over the past 3 years he had matured greatly, and now understood why the girl was always blushing around him, and while he would admit that she was very beautiful now, he couldn't return the feelings that she had for him. And Naruto-kun, why are you coming out of the Yondame's sea compound? Hinata asked, making Naruto curse under his breath. They should have just left by Shunshin. I'm sorry, Hinata, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. It's the reason why Tsunade-sama asked you all to leave earlier. You will all figure it out eventually, but for now you don't need to know, sorry. Naruto replied before he and Yuga quickly left via Shunshin, leaving Hinata alone in the street, thinking that maybe her father would know why. With Naruto and Yuga. That was close, Naruto-kun, good save, Yuga said with a smirk as they appeared near the center of Konoha. It was my own mistake, we should have just left by Shunshin, and I can only assume that Hinata is going to ask around as to why we would be there now. Naruto sighed out. She was bound to find out eventually. From what I remember, your father and Hayashi seemed to be fairly close friends, Yuga said as they made their way towards the sushi bar, earning a surprised look from Naruto. That's surprising. From what I remember about the Hyuga clan head was that he had a bigger stick shoved up his ass than Niji did before I beat it out of him, Naruto replied. Well, Hayashi-sama wasn't always like that. He first started changing after your father and mother died. Then he completely fell apart after the death of his wife during her birth of their second child. Yuga explained, I can almost guarantee that the Hyuga will be a powerful ally for you once you inaugurate it as the Namikaze clan head. I see, it would be good to get to know him then, especially if I was to ever become Hokage. Naruto replied, can I ask you a question, Yuga-chan? Of course, Naruto-kun. With my mother being a part of the Uzumaki clan, and my father being from the Namikaze, I can't decide what name I want to take. While I would like to have my father's last name, I feel it would be unfair to my mother, and vice versa. Naruto said. Yuga could see where Naruto was coming from. With him being the last of 2 famous clans, he didn't want to be the reason that either one of them died out. Maybe try talking to Tsunade-sama about taking both last names. It's rare, but in your case it might be allowed, then it would be a joint Uzumaki Namikaze clan, Yuga suggested, earning a nod and smile from Naruto. Thanks, Yuga-chan, I think I'll do that, Naruto replied. After a quick meal at the sushi restaurant, Naruto and Yuga went to join the rest of Naruto's friends at one of the shinobi bars located around Konoha and spent the rest of the night telling stories about some of their missions as well as how they met. Next morning, Yuga woke early the next morning to the sound of clashing steel. Knowing it was probably just Naruto training, she decided to get up and gauge where his kenjutsu skills stood in comparison to her own. Yuga would admit that in both taijutsu and ninjutsu, Naruto was easily more powerful than her, but when it came to kenjutsu she was still slightly better than him, although she knew that with a little more time, Naruto would surpass even her. Getting dressed in her regular jounin gear, Yuga made her way downstairs and into the backyard, where sure enough Naruto was in a large-scale battle with his clones. Even with her trained eyes she could hardly keep up with Naruto's speed, so a lot of what she saw was just a blur, followed by a puff of smoke, followed by another blur as Naruto massacred his clones left and right. With only 4 clones remaining, Naruto decided to stop his relentless assault and set up with his ninjato in a defensive position. A few moments passed before 2 of the clones charged Naruto, one aiming to sweep Naruto's legs out from underneath him, while the other came from above attempting to slam him into the ground. Naruto flipped over the leg sweep before stabbing his ninjato into the ground and using the hilt to propel himself into a skyward kick that connected with the above clone's chin, making him dispel. After landing on the ground, Naruto took out a kunai and engaged the second clone in a quick taijutsu battle, which ended when Naruto managed to stab the clone with his kunai. After watching the first 2 clones get beat in close combat, the remaining 2 clones decided to try a long-range battle. Going through the required hand signs, both clones yelled out their respected jutsu. Katan, Grande Fireball Jutsu. Both clones yelled in unison, as 2 large fireballs sped towards Naruto from either side, before he too went through a series of hand seals. Suetun, Water Encampment Wall. The original Naruto shouted before a large dome of water surrounded him, protecting him from the dual fireball attacks. Hidden Mist Jutsu. Naruto whispered before a thick mist rolled in over the battlefield, which Naruto disappeared in. A few moments later, Yuga heard 2 popping sounds and the mist started to dissipate, showing an unscathed Naruto holding his ninjato. Fucking clones, I didn't expect them to fire 2 grande fireballs at me. Naruto mumbled as he made his way over to Yuga. Enjoyed the show, Yuga-chan? Quite the performance, Naruto-kun. I was a little surprised when the clones started using jutsus though. You usually only use them in either taijutsu or kenjutsu spars. Yuga said. Yeah, well, I can't always control what my clones do. Now I know how you and Kakashi-sensei must have felt trying to train me, although I never hurled 2 high-ranking jutsus at either of you. Naruto said, making Yuga smile slightly. Well, at least they didn't actually hit you, right? Yuga said with a giggle as they made their way inside. Whatever, Yuga-chan, I'm going to make some breakfast before going to my skills assessment. You want anything? Naruto asked, receiving a nod as his answer. Naruto went to the kitchen to fix them both something to eat. So are you ready for the skills assessment, Naruto-kun? Yuga asked when Naruto returned with their breakfast. Of course, Yuga-chan. While both Asuma and Kiba are strong in their own rights, I have faced tougher opponents and did just fine. Naruto replied, earning a nod from Yuga. She knew how strong her friend was, but she still worried about him. Even still, Naruto, it would be good not to underestimate Asuma-san. He wasn't made one of the daimyo's guardians for nothing. Yuga warned. I know, Yuga-chan, I'll be careful. Naruto said, I hope Bachan will keep us together. After working with you for so long, it would be really weird for me to work with anyone else other than maybe Kakashi-sensei. I know what you mean, Naruto-kun. The only reason I left Anbu was to be on the same team as you. I'm sure Tsunade-sama will keep her end of our deal. Yuga replied, earning a nod from Naruto before they continued their breakfast in relative silence, just enjoying each other's company. Few hours later, Training Ground 7. Naruto and Yuga were surprised to see that they weren't the first to arrive at the training ground. The only people who had yet to show up were Kiba and Asuma. As Naruto and Yuga went over to the group, Naruto couldn't help but shudder when he saw the looks that Ino and to a lesser extent Hinata were giving him, making Yuga smirk at him. I never would have thought that Konoha's Reaper, one of the most feared shinobi to come out of Konoha since the Yondaime, would be scared of a blonde-haired fangirl. Yuga teased, earning a glare from Naruto. You have no idea how fucking persistent she is, Yuga-chan. I'd rather face A and S ranked criminals than have to deal with a persistent fangirl. Hinata isn't as bad because she is too shy to actually try something with me, but I'm not so sure about Ino. Naruto replied, as he put as much space as he could between the platinum blonde and himself. How was your night, brat? Have a good time alone with Yugao-san in your house? Jiraiya asked with a lecherous grin, shocking those present who didn't know Yuga was living with Naruto-kun. Can it, you pervert, before I get Tsunade to knock some sense into you? Naruto replied, ignoring the looks he was getting from those present. You're living with Naruto, Yugao-chan? Kurenai asked as she walked up to her friend. Well, I didn't really have any other place to stay, and I didn't want to bother you and Enko-chan because you both only have 1-bedroom apartments, and it wouldn't have been very comfortable with me. After explaining that to Naruto yesterday, he offered to let me stay at his new house for a while. Yuga explained, earning nod from Kurenai. Bachan, is Iruka-sensei going to be coming? Naruto asked, earning a surprised look from Tsunade, who had forgot about inviting the academy teacher. Shit, sorry Naruto, I forgot. Tsunade started, but was cut off by a wave from Naruto. Don't worry about it, Bachan, I'll get him. Naruto said as he made a clone and had it go look for Iruka. So are you ready for this, brat? Tsunade asked as she looked at her surrogate little brother. Yugao-chan asked me the same thing earlier. Naruto replied with a laugh as he stole a glance at his purple-haired friend, and I'll tell you the same thing I told her, of course I am. I just hope they can give me a decent fight. Confident are we? Tsunade asked with a smirk, as even she didn't know the full extent of Naruto's strength. I didn't become Konoha's Reaper for no reason, I earned my mask Bachan. Naruto replied with a smirk of his own, making Tsunade nod. I hope you can back that up, Naruto-kun. Asuma-san is no slouch when it comes to close combat, same goes for Kiba. Kakashi said. I know, there are only a few people in this village who I wouldn't want to fight close quarters, and they are all already here. I'm not too worried about Asuma-san or Kiba-san, but don't worry Kakashi-sensei, Yugao-chan already made me promise to be careful. Naruto replied, earning a nod from Kakashi. Naruto-kun, is that really you? Said a voice from behind everyone, making Naruto turn with a smile on his face. Iruka-sensei, I'm glad you were able to make it, Naruto said as he walked over and embraced the scarred Chunin. I was worried when everyone had said you disappeared, Naruto-kun. I thought you might have been dead. Where have you been these past 3 years? Iruka asked as they broke apart. Well, for the week after I was in the hospital after I failed to bring Sasuke back, I had a lot of time to think. During that time, Ero-sennin came and told me he wanted to take me out of the village to train, Naruto said, making Iruka go wide-eyed. Jiraiya-sama asked you to become his apprentice? Iruka asked. I did, yeah. But the damn brat refused to be taken from the village. He was worried that if he was out of the village he wouldn't be able to protect his friends in case the village was attacked, Jiraiya said, catching everyone's attention as they didn't know the exact reason why Naruto didn't leave with Jiraiya. That's right. I didn't want to leave to village, so I refused. The day I was released I went and talked to Bachan and asked to be put into the Anbu program, and after some negotiating with the council I was allowed to join, Naruto explained. So you have been in Anbu for the past 3 years then? Iruka asked. He was shocked that Naruto had been allowed to join Anbu. As much as he hated to admit it because of how he considered Naruto to be a little brother to him, but the Naruto he remembered wouldn't have had the skills to be placed into Anbu. I have, and while I'm still alive I have to tell you that the Naruto you once knew no longer exists. I'm no longer the class dead last who throws Kage Bunshin around just because I have the chakra capacities to do so, Naruto said, shocking Iruka again as he wondered just how much Naruto had changed over the past 3 years. I know that it's usually forbidden knowledge, but now that you are no longer Anbu I don't think it matters. What mask did you have? Iruka asked. He knew the story behind Anbu about their masks being special to those who wore them. Naruto smirked before a small seal appeared on his forehead and a poof of smoke went up, blocking Naruto's face from view. No way, Iruka whispered after the smoke had cleared, and there stood Naruto, the Reaper mask covering his face. Pretty badass, huh? Naruto asked with a smirk as the mask disappeared as well as the small seal on his forehead. I'd say, I never thought I'd have taught Konoha's most feared Anbu operative since Itachi Uchiha, Iruka said with a proud smile. Naruto was about to reply when he suddenly felt 2 chakra signatures suddenly approaching. They are finally here, Naruto said to Tsunade, who nodded in response. Iruka was about to ask what was going on when Asuma and Kiba appeared in the middle of the training ground. I was beginning to think neither of you were actually going to show up, Naruto said in a bored tone, earning a growl from Kiba as Asuma's eyes narrowed. Like I'd ever run from you. Doesn't matter what you have been doing over the past 3 years, you are still the class dead last in my books, Kiba said, as a large white dog barked in agreement. Whatever, Kiba, whatever issue you have with me is none of my fucking business, but be warned, I'm not the same kid who took abuse from you all those years ago, Naruto said as he narrowed his eyes and stood across from the 2 jounin. Alright, this is going to be a fight between the 2 jounin Asuma Sarutobi, Kiba Inuzuka, and special jounin Naruto Uzumaki. It will be a 2-on-1 fight so we can gauge special jounin Naruto Uzumaki's skills in combat, Tsunade said as everyone quieted down and started paying attention to the training field. Do you think Naruto-kun will be okay, Sakura? Ino asked as she looked over at her longtime friend and former rival. I'm not sure, Ino. Sure, the fact that Naruto has been in Anbu for the past 3 years is impressive, but he is fighting against 2 of Konoha's best close-quarters jounin, Sakura replied, not taking her eyes off her former teammate. What do you think, Niji-kun? Will Naruto be okay, or was he all talk? Tenden asked her teammate. While I find it hard to believe Naruto would be able to fight both Kiba and Asuma-san at the same time, he wasn't called Konoha's most unpredictable ninja for no reason. I think Naruto will surprise all of us, Niji replied. Are all fighters ready? Start! Tsunade yelled, and instantly Naruto started going through a set of hand seals that both Kakashi and Sakura recognized. No way, Sakura said, just before Naruto finished his jutsu. Hidden mist jutsu! Naruto shouted, as just like this morning a dense mist started to envelope the training ground. Kiba, stay close to me, I'm going to try and make the mist go away, Asuma said before going through his own hand signs. Futon, great wind breakthrough, Asuma yelled, but was shocked when his attack didn't blow the mist away. Nice try, Asuma-san. As a fellow futon user, I can tell you it will take a wind attack a lot stronger than that to make my mist go away, came Naruto's voice from inside the mist. Where are you, Naruto? Come out and fight like a man, Kiba shouted before freezing up when he felt a kunai against his back. Behind you, Naruto whispered, before Kiba turned around and swung his fist, hoping to hit Naruto. Instead he hit something big and fairly soft, before hearing a pained yelp from his partner. Akamaru. Fuck Naruto, I'll make you pay for that, he shouted. On the sidelines, the only ones who could see what was going on inside the mist were Neji and Hinata, but due to how much of Naruto's chakra was circulating in the mist, even they found it hard to see. Can any of you see what is happening? Sakura asked. It looks like Naruto used his speed inside the mist to get behind Kiba before saying something and disappearing again. Kiba turned and tried to hit Naruto but took Akamaru out instead. Neji explained. Pretty sneaky tactic. Without Akamaru, Kiba won't be able to use his Fang over Fang technique to its full capability unless Akamaru is able to get back up by the end of the fight. But Naruto will need more than that to win this fight, Kurenai said, glancing over at Yuga, who didn't look concerned at all. Don't worry, Kurenai-chan, Naruto is just getting warmed up. I don't think he will even need to bring out his big guns to finish this fight, Yuga said as she examined the mist, before noticing it was starting to clear. Back in the fight. As the mist cleared, Asuma noticed that he and Kiba had been separated, and now stood on either side of Naruto. Kiba, go at him together, let's end this quick, Asuma yelled as he took his trench knives out and rushed Naruto, matching Kiba, who rushed in with kunai. Hoping the coordinated attack would push the fight in their advantage, Asuma and Kiba upped the pressure against the blonde, throwing a whirlwind of strikes and combos towards Naruto, who seemed unfazed by their coordinated attack and simply dodged all their strikes. Why aren't you fighting back, Naruto? Too scared, Kiba taunted, but something about the way Naruto was smirking at him made the Inuzuka shudder slightly. One word for you, Naruto started, making Asuma's eyes widen at the sudden influx in chakra coming from the blonde and Kawarimi with a log on the opposite side of the training field. Boom! Naruto ended with a smirk before enveloping Kiba in a large explosion, sending the boy flying across the training field and into a tree, where he slumped over unconscious. I'd suggest getting him to the hospital, Naruto said as he looked over at the shocked spectators. On the sidelines. Kiba-kun! Kurenai yelled as she rushed over to her old student. Although impressed with how Naruto was handling himself so far, she felt as though he could have gone a little easier on her student. Holy shit! Ino shouted, what the hell was that? Naruto Kawarimi with an exploding clone shortly before the mist cleared. He placed himself between both Kiba and Asuma in hopes that they would engage him together. It was a trap and Naruto led them into it perfectly. Yuga explained, having seen Naruto use this tactic before on missions. How do you know that's what he did? Are you sure it wasn't just luck? Ino asked, but then shrunk at the glare Yuga gave her. The reason I know this is because I've seen Naruto use those two jutsu in combination before. The only difference this time is the amount of chakra he used. Normally when Naruto traps his foes like this, all that's left is bits and pieces. Yuga explained, making everyone shiver, realizing that this new Naruto was not someone to fuck with. Back in the fight. So Asuma-san, do you still want to fight? Naruto asked as he walked back into the middle of the training field. Surely you have seen enough. Don't get cocky, brat. Kiba got tricked because he was impatient, and couldn't notice the spike in chakra your clone gave off just before exploding. I won't fall for the same trick twice, Asuma said as he started pumping more futon chakra into his trench knives, making them sharper and longer. Very well then, Asuma. Make sure you don't get caught again. Next time I won't hold back, Naruto said before doing a few hand signs. Katan, Fire Dragon Jutsu, Naruto shouted before shooting a large dragon made of fire towards Asuma, who quickly got out of the way. Despite his current situation, Asuma was impressed that the blonde knew not only futon, but katan as well. You're good, brat, I'll give you that, but you're still too young to be able to beat me, Asuma said. Katan, ash burning pile, he shouted as a large cloud of gunpowder and ash made its way over to Naruto, before starting another set of hand signs. Katan, grande fireball jutsu, he shouted as a large fireball shot towards the cloud of ash, making it ignite, causing a large explosion to envelope the area Naruto was in. Sidelines. Naruto-kun! Sakura yelled as she was about to jump in and save her last remaining teammate, before a hand on her shoulder stopped her. Looking back, she saw the hand belonged to Yuga. Let me go! Naruto needs help. Sakura yelled as she tried to get out of Yuga's grasp. He's your friend. Don't you even care? I do, and it's because I'm his friend that I am confident that Naruto will be okay, Like we have said before, do not underestimate Naruto-kun, Yuga said as she looked at the spot that Naruto had been. That was one of Asuma-sensei's strongest attacks. Are you sure Naruto-kun will be okay? Ino asked, but didn't get an answer as everyone was busy watching the spot Naruto had been. Fight. You should call the fight, Tsunade-sama. I don't think he will be getting up after that, Asuma said. That was a good attack, Asuma-san, but it will take more than that to bring me down, Naruto said, earning Asuma's attention. How Asuma started, but as the smoke cleared he was surprised to see Naruto surrounded by a dome of water. Suetun, Sujin Hiki, Naruto said as the wall of water dissipated around him. 3 affinities, that's pretty impressive, Naruto. I can see that you came a long way in the past 3 years. I've still got a lot of juice left in the tank though, Asuma said as he brought out his trench knives, pumping chakra through them, causing them to gain a faint blue hue. I wouldn't have expected anything else, Asuma-san, but I wasn't made Konoha's Reaper for nothing. Naruto started before going through a set of hand signs. Suetun, Suryuden no Jutsu, Naruto said before a large dragon made of water appeared out of the lake behind Naruto and raced towards Asuma, who was forced to use a kawarimi to get out of the way, before rushing towards Naruto to engage with his trench knives. A seal appeared on Naruto's hand, causing a slight poof of smoke that dissipated to reveal an ninjato. Pumping a bit of wind chakra through the blade, Naruto disappeared to meet Asuma, sending a flurry of stabs and slashes at the bearded jounin, making him go on the defensive. Sidelines. Kenjutsu to man Naruto's become extremely troublesome over the past few years, Shikamaru said lazily, earning a few nods from around the group. It would seem that Naruto has surpassed all of us. It makes me wonder what he might have been like had someone taught him seriously earlier in his life, Shino said. Naruto has always been a prodigy, Yuga said, earning the group's attention. He may not have been like Sasuke or Neji, who were both born with natural talent. I would put him in the same category as Lee-san, a prodigy of hard work. Naruto trained day and night at Anbu HQ to get to the level he is at now, and according to him he still has tons of room to improve. I have to agree with Yuga-chan, Kurenai stated, but even at that pace, Naruto has grown exponentially over the past 3 years. It would take more than just being a prodigy of hard work for him to grow from the level he was at, to the one he is currently on. That is true, but Naruto is a special case in regards to another area as well, Yuga replied, earning questioning looks from a few of the younger shinobi. How so, Yuga-san? Sakura asked. The Kagebunshin is a special kind of clone, one that can send information back to the original once being dispelled. The only drawback is how much chakra it takes to make one, as it splits the user's chakra in half evenly for each clone made. Yuga started. Naruto, however, has the largest chakra reserves I've ever seen, and can easily make up to around 100 clones in one go. Now think about it, if each clone sends information back to the original, using 100 clones a day, would equal up to about 100 days of training. That's incredible, Sakura whispered as she looked at her teammate as he was still engaged in close quarters combat with Asuma. Naruto used his clones to train Kenjutsu, Fuinjutsu, and Ninjutsu, while he focused a lot on physical training. Naruto may not look like it, but he is also probably one of the physically strongest shinobi in Konoha, behind Gai-san and Jiraiya-sama. Yuga said, he is a very deadly close-range fighter. With the amount of strength and speed he has, not a lot of enemies can keep up with him if he gets in close. I'm only able to win our Kenjutsu spars based on years of experience and reflexes, but even then Naruto will surpass me soon enough. Yash! Naruto-kun's flames of youth are burning brighter than ever. I must increase my training by 100 times so I can match him, Lee said. That's my student Lee, Gai said. Gai-sensei. Lee. Gai-sensei. Lee. They yelled before hugging, causing a coastal sunset image to appear behind them. What the fuck is that? Yuga said, appalled and scared at what she was seeing. It's best not to think about it, Yuga-san, Tenten said with a sweat drop. Fight. It seems that Gai-sensei and Lee are the same as ever, Naruto mused to himself before ducking under a punch Asuma had sent at his face. It would be best not to take your eyes off me, Naruto. It wouldn't do well for you to go back to Yuga-san missing an eye, Asuma said confidently. Same could be said for you, Asuma-san, don't get too cocky, Naruto replied before stabbing his sword into the ground to catch both of Asuma's arms. Asuma tried to fight Naruto's grip but found it near impossible to get out, before feeling a strong pain in his gut as Naruto had planted his foot directly into Asuma's stomach, making him cough up a little blood. Naruto, using Asuma's pain as a momentary distraction, released his grip on one of Asuma's hands, before using his now free hand to hit a pressure point in Asuma's arm, rendering it useless as it fell limply at his side. Naruto picked up his sword with his free hand, before placing the tip against Asuma's jugular, causing to bearded jounin to snap back to reality, as he felt cold steel against his neck. Give up, Asuma-san. I would prefer it if you do not force my hand any further, Naruto said coldly, sending a shiver down Asuma's spine. I give up, Asuma said, as Naruto retracted his blade before sealing it away again. Good choice. I'd recommend seeing Ba-chan or Shizen-chan to get your arm looked at, Naruto said, earning a nod from Asuma. That was fun for me. If you ever want to have a friendly spar, feel free to find me. Very impressive, brat, Tsunade said as she came up behind the two, followed closely by the others. Yeah, that was amazing, Naruto-kun, Sakura said with a smile, making Naruto scratch his head sheepishly. It wasn't that impressive, Sakura. If I didn't have a chakra-conducting blade like Asuma, the fight could have gone downhill for me, Naruto replied. What did you do to his arm, Naruto-kun? Shizen asked as she gazed at Asuma's limp arm. Huh. Oh, I hit a pressure point to make it go limp. You should probably take a look at it to make sure it goes back to normal, Shizen-chan, Naruto said with a smile, making her blush slightly, something that didn't go unnoticed by Tsunade and Yuga. Hi, Naruto-kun, she replied before attending to Asuma. It takes a lot of knowledge about human anatomy to be able to do something like that in the middle of combat, Naruto-san, Shino said, earning a nod from Sakura. Yeah, well, I can't do medical jutsu because of how my chakra is, but I thought it might have helped to learn about human anatomy. Being able to disable an opponent in the middle of combat is a good skill to have if you need to extract information, Naruto said, causing a few of them to shiver at the implication he just gave. Anyways, brat, I think that it's safe to say you have earned this, Tsunade said as she handed Naruto a green Jounin vest. Elite Jounin Uzumaki Naruto. Make me and your parents proud, brat. God, what the fuck happened to me? Kiba asked as he slowly regained consciousness. Looking around, he noticed white walls and ceilings, and could hear Lo beeping off to his right. I must be in the hospital. That means Naruto won, huh? He didn't survive Anbu for 3 years for no reason, I guess. You're awake, Kiba-san, that's good. After your fight with Naruto-kun, we thought it would take a lot longer for you to wake up, Shizen said as she entered the room, followed by the rest of Team Kurenai. Kakashi, Sakura, and Naruto are Team Kakashi, so why not, right? How are you feeling, Kiba-kun? Kurenai asked. I feel like shit, Kurenai-sensei. What the hell happened? Kiba asked. The last thing I remember is fighting Naruto, then it just went black and I woke up here. After making you accidentally take Akamaru out, Naruto positioned himself between you and Asuma before releasing his hidden mist jutsu. When Asuma saw this, he suggested that you and him both attack Naruto at the same time. What you two didn't know was that Naruto used a Kawarini to switch himself with an exploding clone and lured you both into a trap. Asuma noticed this when the chakra inside the clone suddenly spiked and managed to substitute himself with a log. You, however, were not so lucky and Naruto caught you in the blast, blowing you across the training field. Kurenai explained, making Kiba nod. I can't believe he got so strong. He never had any talent back in the academy, Kiba said, suddenly starting to feel a little bad about the way he acted to his old friend. I fucked up pretty bad, huh? No one expected Naruto to be so strong. I'm sure he would forgive you if you talk to him, Kurenai said, trying to cheer her old student up. Who won the whole fight? Did Naruto beat Asuma as well? Kiba asked. After we took you to the hospital, Asuma tried to use his strongest jutsu on Naruto in hopes that he would be able to take him out. Naruto surprised everyone again by showing that he also had a strong Suiton affinity when he used Suiton, water encampment wall, to protect himself from Asuma's attack. Naruto and Asuma engaged Naruto with his trench knives while Naruto used a special ninjato that was able to conduct his chakra. He was eventually able to render one of Asuma's arms useless and forced him to give up. Shizen explained as she checked on Kiba's condition. You should be fine to go home in a few hours, Kiba-san. Alright, thanks Shizen-san, Kiba replied, earning a nod from said medic. So what do you guys think of Naruto's new strength? Naruto-san trained hard in the Anbu for the past 3 years to be strong enough to protect the village. I find it logical to believe that Naruto-san has yet to show his true capabilities, Shino stated. Why yeah, and a few days ago I saw him coming out of the Yandame's old compound. When I asked my father about it, he wouldn't tell me anything about it, Hinata added, making Kurenai's eyes widen slightly. She had noticed Naruto's uncanny appearance to the Yandame Hokage and had wondered before if they were somehow related, but decided to put that information away for later. That's an interesting discovery, Hinata-chan. Hopefully Hokage-sama will be able to shed some light on everything eventually, Kurenai stated. And I have to agree with you as well, Shino-kun. After Asuma passed out from chakra exhaustion, Yuga explained to us that Naruto was just playing with you and Asuma the entire time. While Asuma is classified as an elite jounin, Naruto explained that Asuma didn't take him seriously and wasted most of his chakra early trying to overpower him. Naruto has very large chakra reserves and by the end of the fight he wasn't even tired. I see, I guess the rest of us will just have to work harder to catch up to him now, Kiba said, earning nods from his teammates and a smile from his sensei. With Naruto and the rest of the Konoha 11, After Naruto's fight with Asuma and Kiba, everyone other than Kurenai's team had decided to stick together and relax for the rest of the day, and had invited Naruto and Yuga to accompany them. It took a little persuasion from Yuga, but eventually Naruto caved and decided to spend the rest of the day with his friends who had decided to relax at one of the lakes close to Konoha. So, it looks like Anbu has really paid off for you, Naruto-kun. You really surprised us all earlier today, Sakura said as she sat down beside her old teammate. Yeah, it did, but there are still things I could improve at, other jutsus that I intend to master, things I want to create, Naruto replied as he looked out over the lake. How much have you changed, Naruto-kun? Just when I thought I might have been catching up to you, this happened, Sakura thought as she pictured Naruto and Sasuke walking far in front of her, and she couldn't help but frown. What's wrong, Sakura? Naruto asked as he noticed his teammate's sudden mood change. When Tsunade had called us all together yesterday and explained that you were okay and had just been away training over the past 3 years, I couldn't help but feel that we could finally work together again as equals. As much as I hate to admit it, you and Sasuke were always ahead of me when we were a part of Team 7. I thought that maybe after 3 years I had finally caught up to you, but what you showed us all earlier today makes me realize that you and Sasuke are still far ahead of me, she explained sadly. I see, in true, Sakura. I meant what I said the other day about us not being a very good team in the past, Naruto started, making Sakura lower her head even more. However, that doesn't mean that we can't make things better. You have been receiving training from one of the legendary Sannin over the past 3 years. As much as I enjoy annoying Tsunade, the amount of skill she holds is not something to be overlooked. During my first couple years at Anbu, I was assigned as one of Tsunade's guards. During those days I was able to witness what some of the training she was putting you through. Although you know the secret to Tsunade's super strength, most of the training she gave you was that of a medic nin, and even though I was trained to work in the shadows as an Anbu, my chakra reserves allow me to be a powerhouse. We are probably going to be put on the same team again with both Kakashi-sensei and Yuga-chan. I'd rather have a skilled medic than another ninjutsu or kenjutsu specialist. Thanks, Naruto-kun, I appreciate that, Sakura replied with a smile. We have both changed a lot over the past 3 years, it seems, but don't think I'm going to stop trying to catch up to you. I wouldn't dream of it, Sakura. If you ever want a sparring partner, I'd be happy to help, and if you ever become interested in learning kenjutsu, I'm sure I could ask Yuga-chan to help you out, Naruto replied, earning a thankful nod from Sakura. Speaking of Yuga-san, how did the two of you meet? Sakura asked, earning the attention of a few of the others. Yeah, you guys never really explained how the two of you had met the other night, Tenten asked as she, Ino, Niji, Shikamaru, Choji, and Lee all came over to where Naruto and Sakura were. You guys are really interested in that, huh? Naruto said, receiving nods from his friends. He sighed before continuing. Yuga-chan and I have actually known each other since before we started the academy. Due to events surrounding my birth, I wasn't well liked by the villagers, and after I started living by myself they would start harassing me, sometimes going as far as attempting to beat me. After the first few attempts, Sandaijiji started to assign Anbu guards to watch over me. Yuga saved my skin a few times when I was younger, so when I joined Anbu I searched her out in hopes that I would be able to properly thank her. What I didn't know at that time was that Yuga-chan's fiancé had been killed during the Oto/Suna invasion, and she had spent a lot of her time taking numerous S-ranked missions which are considered to be suicide missions. Why would Yuga-san take such dangerous missions? Tenten asked. Her fiancé was Hate Gecko, our first proctor during the third part of the exams. He was killed by the Suna Jouninbaki after he was discovered trailing the traitor Kabuto. The death of Hate was extremely hard on Yuga-chan. Not even her friends could convince her to stop taking missions, Naruto explained. Then how did you manage to get through to her? It must have taken a long time, right? Ino asked. As the self-proclaimed gossip queen of Konoha, she was always looking for interesting stories. It did. I hardly ever saw Yuga-chan for the first few months when I was in Anbu. Whenever I did, she was either leaving or just returning from a mission and was too busy to stop and talk. I eventually managed to get her alone in one of the training grounds and managed to give her my thanks. A few weeks after that I started to learn kenjutsu, and was told by a few people in Anbu that Yuga-chan was the resident kenjutsu specialist in Konoha, so I began searching for her again in hopes that she would start training me. It took a little persistence, but eventually she caved in and agreed to help train me. By this time I knew about her past with Hate and was hoping that giving her an apprentice would keep her from going on suicide missions, which it did for a while, Naruto said. You said for a while? I'm assuming she eventually started doing them again, right? Niji asked, earning a nod from Naruto. Yes, she did. I remember asking her not to, but she just kept brushing me off, saying it was none of my business. She continued to train me in kenjutsu, but our sessions became few and far between until it got to the point where I would be lucky to get one lesson a week. A few weeks later Yuga got seriously injured on a mission and had to be hospitalized for a couple weeks. During those 2 weeks I visited her quite frequently, asking her to tell me why she kept trying to get herself killed, but just like the first time she kept brushing me off. Naruto explained. It's obvious that you cared for her. I can't see why she would have just kept brushing you off, Sakura said. Like Naruto-kun explained, at that time I didn't think it was any of his business. Came Yugao's voice from behind everyone as she looked at Naruto with a small smile. Naruto was very persistent in trying to get me to open up. During that time I didn't know that he already knew hate and was just trying to get me to open up to him by myself, but I guess I was taking too long because he eventually snapped on me. I had never seen Naruto lose his cool like that in all the years I had known him. It was a real eye-opener for me. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's strange when Naruto-kun gets upset, Sakura said, remembering the verbal lashing Naruto had given her the day before. It is, that day Naruto was able to remind me that I had other things to live for besides Hayate-kun. I had friends like Kurenai-chan and Enko-chan who would miss me, as well as people in Anbu, including Naruto. After that day I started taking less and less S-ranked missions, while taking more time to train Naruto in Kenjutsu. We eventually went from being just work partners to friends, and he even managed to get me to open up about Hayate-kun's death. He doesn't give himself much credit for everything that happened, but the truth is that Naruto-kun changed my life. Had he not come by that day to ask me for training, I can safely say I would either be dead by now or still taking suicide missions as much as I could, Yuga said. Aw, it's almost romantic, Ino said with hearts in her eyes, earning a slight giggle from Yuga and a tick mark on Naruto's forehead. There was nothing romantic about watching someone close to me trying to kill herself, Ino-san. I'm just glad that I was able to help change Yuga-chan's outlook on life, Naruto said, suppressing the small amount of red that threatened to tint his cheeks. Right, that's why you're living together now, huh? Ino said, and then smirked as she saw Naruto stiffen slightly. Whatever, Ino, Yuga has no place to go right now, and I've recently come into some property that has a lot of available space, Naruto said quickly, hoping to defuse the situation before the gossip queen could get any more information from either of them. Yuga could only smile at Naruto's interaction with his old friends. She was happy for her friend being able to interact normally with his old friends. I hope you enjoy these few moments of peace you're having, Naruto-kun. With everything that is going to come to light soon, you're probably going to gain a lot more enemies. With the Jounin senseis a few hours later. Naruto-kun's flames of youth sure have brightened over the past few years, haven't they, my eternal rival? Guy said as the Jounins all sat together at one of the shinobi bars located around Konoha. You know what, Guy, for once I agree with you. Naruto-kun came a long way since joining Anbu. He has grown in ways I would have never imagined, Kakashi replied, earning a nod from Guy. I don't think that Naruto was ever a bad student, Kakashi-san, Irika said, earning the attention of those present. During Naruto's academy days, a lot of the teachers there tried to sabotage his work and keep him back. If Naruto would have received proper training he deserved, then I think Naruto could have easily been Rookie of the Year. Yes, with proper training Naruto would have been quite the genin. If I had realized Naruto's hidden potential earlier, I might have been able to help push him in the right direction, but it took his teammate shoving an A-ranked assassination jutsu through his chest for him to change, Kakashi said in shame. It sucks about what happened with Sasuke, but Naruto turned out okay in the end. Maybe what happened with Sasuke was a blessing in disguise, Irika said thoughtfully. What do you mean, Irika-san? You are probably the closest thing Naruto has to a real family. How would having a roll rip through his chest be a blessing in disguise? Kakashi asked with narrowed eyes. Don't get me wrong, Kakashi-san, Naruto is like my little brother, but had it not been for what happened with Sasuke, I don't think Naruto would have ever considered entering Anbu. Even if Naruto had been taken out of the village by Jiraiya, there would only be so much Jiraiya would have been able to train him. Naruto joining Anbu gave him the ability to train not only his physical strength, but he learned to control all three of his elemental affinities and start on his fourth. Aside from that, Naruto has become quite the Kenjutsu user as well. Yuga said that he is close to even surpassing her, Irika explained proudly. He surpassed me a long time ago, and will probably pass the rest of you before you know it. He has come a long way since the time he fought Kiba-kun in the Chunin exam finals a few years ago. I never would have thought that someone like Naruto would be able to take Yuga-chan out of her depression, Kurenai said, remembering that he friend and the young blonde were quite close. Naruto has always had the special ability to make friends out of the most unlikely people. He was the one who convinced even Tsunade-sama to return to the village. He would make a great negotiator and ambassador if Konoha ever needed one, Irika said. Yuga-chan speaks quite highly of young Naruto-kun. I wonder how she actually feels about him. I hope she has finally decided to move on. If only I could find someone to be with, Kurenai thought. Next morning with Naruto and Yuga, Hokage's office. We received a request from Wave Country earlier this morning. Apparently an ambassador from Kumo is on the way to speak with the daimyo of Wave Country about trade negotiations, and the daimyo requested that a team from Konoha be sent to act as bodyguards during the negotiations, Tsunade said, gaining Naruto's attention. So you think because I have previous experience with the people of Wave Country that sending me would also be good for our relations with Wave? Naruto asked, making Tsunade nod. After your disappearance into Anbu 3 years ago, Wave Country has been demanding to know what happened to you, and our trade treaty has become a little shaky lately. Letting Wave know that you are fine will hopefully bolster our relationship. Tsunade explained, earning a nod from Naruto. I can understand why you would want that, as Wave is one of the largest trading centers in all of the elemental nations, but why send me? What about Kakashi-sensei or Sakura? Naruto asked. I don't know if you realize this, Naruto, but you have been considered a hero in Wave ever since your team's first mission there, a hero that as far as Wave knows is dead. Sending Kakashi-san or Sakura-chan wouldn't be as effective as sending their country's hero. Tsunade replied. Alright Ba-chan, I understand the reason why you want to send me now. Who will the rest of my team be? I'm assuming that Yugao-chan will be coming with me as she left Anbu to work with me specifically. Naruto said, earning a nod from the female Hokage. Yugao-sen will be joining you, along with Kurenai and her old team. Tsunade replied moments before said team entered her office. Team Kurenai reporting for our mission, Tsunade-sama. Kurenai said as they entered the room before sending Naruto a friendly smile. I was just going over the mission with Naruto-kun. Kurenai-san. He will be leading this mission alongside both Yugao and your team. Tsunade said, and received a nod of approval from the red-eyed Jounin. Hi Tsunade-sama. Kurenai replied with a slight bow before turning to Naruto. My team is already packed and ready for a long-term mission, Naruto-san. We are able to leave as soon as you are ready. Alright Kurenai-san, please meet me at the main gate. I just have to stop and get Yugao-chan, then we will be ready to leave. We will be taking a fast pace to Wave Country. Even though I've been there in the past, the city we are going to has no doubt changed a lot over the past few years, and I would like a few days to relearn the layout of the town. I'm not expecting Kumo to try anything funny, but I like to know the basic layout of a city in case something happens. Naruto said before using a shunshin to leave the office, followed by Team Kurenai who went to wait at the gate. Main gate 5 minutes later. Hey Kurenai-sensei, have you ever been to Wave Country before? Kiba asked as they waited for Naruto to arrive with Yugao. A long time ago during a mission when I was still a genin, but I haven't been there since Gato was overthrown a few years ago. Kurenai replied, receiving a nod from Kiba. According to Tsunade-sama, Wave U underwent a drastic sea change right after Team S7 finished that mission W when we were still genin. Hinata said. Gato was a money-hungry tyrant. It would make sense that with him out of the way the people of Wave Country would be able to rebuild and eventually thrive. They have managed to become one of the largest trading ports in the elemental nations because of the bridge they were able to finish. Also, given the location of Wave, they are able to receive shipments from countries that can't normally send goods over land. Shino explained. That's a good observation, Shino-kun. I have to agree with you on both accounts. Kurenai said with a smile, before sensing Naruto and Yugao fast approaching. Alright you guys, it's a few-day journey to Wave and I would like to get there with at least a day to scout the area. I'm sure Wave has changed greatly since I was there with Kakashi-sensei during the construction of the bridge. Naruto said after appearing with Yugao. I'm not expecting any confrontations while on the way to Wave, but stay close together and don't let your guard down. Later that night, near the border of the Land of Fire. Having made it through the day without any problems, Naruto decided to set up camp in a meadow near the border of Fire Country. Judging by the pace they had set throughout the day, he figured they would make it to Wave early tomorrow night, giving them enough time to rest before taking a day to scout the village. You seem troubled, Naruto-kun. Is everything alright? Yugao asked as she landed beside the young blonde. Not really, just thinking about the mission. We should arrive in Wave early tomorrow night, but that's not my issue. I've led dangerous missions before, but I had Anbu back up in case things went south. While I trust both you and Kurenai-san, I don't want to get Kiba, Hinata, and Shino into a situation they might not be able to handle. With my track record for missions going south, I can't help but be cautious about all this. Naruto explained. Konoha and Kumo aren't on good terms right now, and last I heard Kumo has 2 Jinchuriki who both have full control over their Biju, while I might be able to deal with the Jinchuriki of the 2 tails. Even with you and Kurenai-san here, we would be no match for the 8 tails. There are a lot of unknowns in this mission, Naruto-kun, but both Kurenai-chan and I have faith in your leadership skills. And besides, even if Kumo were to recognize you, I don't think they would try anything while trying to gain a trading contract with a country that considers you a hero. That would be a little counterproductive, don't you think? Yugao explained, earning a nod from Naruto. Thanks Yugao-chan, it feels weird not leading a group of Anbu, but my friends have been training hard as well, I'll just have to trust them to do what needs to be done. Naruto replied with a thankful nod. I'll take the first watch of the night. I'll let you know when it's your turn, alright? Try and get some sleep, Yugao-chan. Thanks Naruto-kun. Don't be afraid to get me if you feel like something isn't right. You may be strong, but we are still a team and I don't want you to have all the fun. Yugao replied with a smile, before turning and heading towards her tent. Few hours later, Naruto was sitting peacefully on a branch overlooking the camp when one of the clones he had sent to secure the perimeter was killed, sending him the memories. My clones were well hidden. How could someone have snuck up on them without them realizing it? This isn't good, Naruto thought before jumping down and making his way into the camp. Guys, wake up, we have a problem. I need all of you out here right now, Naruto said, getting the message across by the urgency in his voice. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? Yuga asked as she came up beside him, hand resting on the hilt of her sword. One of the clones I had sent out earlier to secure the perimeter was taken out before it or any of the others could realize there was someone there, Naruto explained. Yugao's eyes widened at this. Naruto was one of the best sensors she had ever met, and to be able to sneak up on him unnoticed was almost unheard of. Hinata, Shino, get in the middle of Kurenai, Yugao, Kiba and I Hinata to use her Byakugan to get a full 360 of the area, while Shino surrounds the camp with his bugs in case Hinata misses something or the enemy is fast enough to get through unnoticed, Naruto said. What about me, Naruto? Kiba asked Akamaru, and I should be able to smell whoever is out there. You can't always trust your nose, Kiba. During my years in Anbu I came across reports of ninja able to mask their smell to sneak by in Zuka. Just be ready for an attack, Naruto said, receiving a nod as they all took up defensive positions. Your reputation precedes you, Reaper of Konoha. I would never have thought that one of the most feared Anbu to ever grace the elemental nations would carry such a burden as you do. Tell me, does it speak with you? A voice asked, making Naruto's and Yugao's eyes narrow. How would you know about what I carry? And as for your question, I haven't spoken with it in a long time, Naruto replied. I know many things about you, Reaper-san, and also about the organization that hunts that which is inside you, young Namikaze, the voice said, making Naruto's eyes widen, along with Kurenai's. You seem to know a lot about me, yet I know nothing about you. Why haven't you shown yourself yet? Are you a part of the Akatsuki? Naruto asked, acting calm on the outside, yet inside he was anything but calm. How would he know about the Kyuubi? And he also knows about my father. Those are two of Konoha's best kept secrets. I'm not yet at full strength, Reaper-san. It wouldn't be wise for me to show myself to the world just yet. I could care less about what you hold inside you. What the Akatsuki intends to do is bound to fail in the end. Just remember that when I make my presence known, the Akatsuki will be the least of your worries. Farewell for now, Reaper-san. Make sure to cherish these moments of peace with your friends and the ones you love, for when I return this world will burn. We need to leave right now, Naruto said after a few moments of silence, earning nods from the rest of his team. After what just happened, nobody wanted to stay there any longer. Kurenai-san, Yugao-chan, come with me while the rest of you pack up and get ready to leave. He knew too much, Naruto-kun. The fact that he knows about what you hold and who you're related to is something that we should be worried about. He also said that he wasn't at full power, yet he managed to sneak up on us and take out your clones without them noticing. I hate to think of what someone like that might be capable of when at full power, Yugao said after the three of them had gotten far away enough from everyone else. I agree, he knows who I am and what kind of reputation I carry, yet he wasn't fazed by that. I need to let Tsunade-sama know about this, Naruto said before quickly taking out a scroll and writing a few things before making hand signs. Kuchio's no jutsu, Naruto said before a small puff of smoke appeared and a small toad popped out. I need this message delivered to the Hokage immediately. Make sure no one but her sees it as it contains some of Konoha's best kept secrets, Naruto told the toad before handing it the scroll. Naruto, is what he said true? Are you really a Namikaze? Kurenai asked, making Naruto sigh. Yes, Kurenai-san, I am. My real name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of Yondaime Hokage Minato Namikaze and Konoha's red-hot-blooded habanero Kushina Uzumaki, who, like me, was the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, Naruto explained, making Kurenai's eyes widen. But right now that's the least of our concerns. I trust that you will be able to keep this to yourself until Bachan and I decide to make the announcement. Of course, Naruto, you have my word that I won't tell anyone about this, Kurenai replied. Thanks, Kurenai-san. Now we should head back. Looks like they are pretty much done packing up, Naruto replied before heading back to the camp. Alright, I've sent a message to Tsunade-sama letting her know of our current situation. We will not be stopping until we reach Wave this time. I want you all on high alert in case something like that happens again. He was able to kill my clones and slip by without any of them noticing, as well as slipping past Hinata's Byakugan. If we have to stop for any reason, I don't want any of you wandering off by yourself. Pick a partner now and you two will stick together until we reach Wave and after that formulate a better plan, Naruto explained as he stood beside Yugao, Kurenai with Hinata, and Kiba with Shino. I do not think we will have another run-in with whoever that was, but regardless of that, this mission just became a lot more deadly, and I don't want any of my friends to die. Now let's go. With Tsunade. Tsunade was in the middle of a meeting with both Jiraiya and Kakashi concerning the Akatsuki when a small puff of smoke appeared on her desk. Tsunade-sama, Naruto-san sends you a message stating it was for your eyes, and your eyes only. The small toad said before disappearing again. What has the brat gotten himself into now? Tsunade sighed out as she unfurled the scroll and started reading it. Upon reading it, however, her demeanor changed, and her eyes widened slightly. What happened with Naruto-kun? Tsunade-sama? Kakashi asked, put off by the blonde Hokage's sudden change. Naruto and his team stopped on the border of Fire Country for the night, and Naruto decided to take first watch while his teammates slept. A few hours into his shift, Naruto's clones were killed without any of them sensing who did it. Tsunade said, making Jiraiya's eyes widen. Bullshit, even I have troubles just sneaking past Naruto and his clones, especially when they are hidden. Naruto is almost as good as me when it comes to stealth. Jiraiya said, surprised that someone would be able to kill multiple of Naruto's shadow clones without one of them sensing who was there. That's not all. Whoever did that was able to sneak up on the team and speak with Naruto, even though Hinata was using her Byakugan and Shino had his bugs surrounding the area. He knew the kind of reputation Naruto had, as well as the facts that he is Minato's son and is the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. Tsunade explained. Impossible, those are some of Konoha's best kept secrets. The only person who knows where documents like that are held is the Hokage. Kakashi said, was he part of the Akatsuki? According to Naruto he isn't, going on to quote that what the Akatsuki is planning to do with the Biju is bound to fail, and later telling Naruto to enjoy the peace with his friends and loved ones because the next time he makes his presence known he promises to make the world burn. So what you're saying is that this person was able to kill Naruto's clones without being caught, but was also to hold a conversation with Naruto's team who, might I add, have a Hyuga, Aburame, and Inzuka on it, without being seen, sensed, or smelled? Jiraiya asked, earning a nod from Tsunade. This isn't good. We should send a team of Anbu to investigate the area to see if they can find anything. No doubt Naruto will already be on the move again. You could send another team as backup, but by the time they got there the negotiations would probably already be finished. Jiraiya said. Agreed, I'll send a team of Anbu to search the area where Naruto and his team set up camp. Jiraiya, I want you to ask around your spy network, see if anyone else has had a similar experience as this, or at the least try and figure out who might be capable of something like this. Tsunade ordered, earning a nod from Jiraiya before he shined out of the office. Kakashi, I want you to lead the Anbu team in charge of searching the area Naruto encountered this person. Your Sharingan will be useful in picking up chakra signatures and tiny details other people might miss. Hi, Tsunade-sama. Kakashi said before also using a shunshin to leave the tower. Why can't you ever do something simple without turning it into a big pile of paperwork? Be careful, Naruto-kun, too many people care about you for you to kick the bucket this early. Tsunade said as she gazed out the window. A threat supposedly bigger than the Akatsuki, we need to be ready for anything. Suna will need to be informed of this as soon as possible as well. Tsunami sighed as she sat in her office looking through a large pile of trade treaties that had been sent in over the past few days. Since Team 7 had helped protect her grandfather, as he built the bridge that now connected Wave to the mainland, the country had grown to become one of the largest trading ports of the elemental nations. Thoughts of Team 7 brought a small frown to the young daimyo's face as she remembered the young blonde boy who helped not only change her son, but her country as well. They had received no new information regarding the whereabouts of Naruto Uzumaki, the person her country thought of as a hero. I hope that wherever you are you're doing alright, Naruto-kun, Tsunami said. Sure, the rest of Team 7 had played a large role in defeating Gato and freeing the people of Wave, but Naruto helped change her son Inari, and that had earned the blonde a special place in her heart. Tsunami-sama, the team you requested from Konoha has arrived. Came a voice through her intercom. What? Already, they weren't supposed to arrive for another day at least. Tsunami said to herself before telling her secretary to let the team in. Hello Ninja-san, sorry if I seem a little disorganized but I wasn't expecting you till later tonight or tomorrow. Tsunami said apologetically. Sorry, I had planned to arrive later today but my team and I had a little incident, so to speak, and I thought it would be best for us to arrive as soon as possible. The hooded figure at the front said, I'm sorry if we have caused you any problems with our early arrival. Not at all, Ninja-san. Tsunami replied with a smile, just caught a little off guard is all. Something about the one with the cloak is familiar. Alright Daimyo-sama, let me introduce the team that will be acting as your security during your negotiations with Kumo. The hooded figure said, receiving a nod from Tsunami, Yuga Yuzuki, Konoha's resident Kenjutsu specialist, Kurinai Yuhi the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha, along with her old team, Kiba Inzuka, Shino Aburame, and Hinata Hyuga, all of which are excellent trackers with abilities trained for tracking enemies. A very prestigious team you have here, Ninja-san. I've heard a lot about both Yuga and Kurinai. Tsunami said, while Wave wasn't as militaristic as most of the other nations, as daimyo she made sure to keep track of top-ranking shinobi from around the elemental nations. And who might you be? Most people know me as Konoha's Reaper. Naruto started before removing his hood, making Tsunami's eyes widen, but I would prefer it if you just called me Naruto. And Naruto-kun, Tsunade said, shocked at the change Naruto had undergone. Last time she had seen the blonde, he was just a runt who had one of the shortest attention spans she had ever seen. In front of her stood a man that radiated power and respect, who she had to admit was quite handsome. What's more is that he claimed to be Konoha's Reaper, someone she had been keeping tabs on since she first heard about him. Hello again, Tsunade-chan. I see you have become Wave's daimyo, congratulations. How have Inari-san and Tazuna-san been doing? Naruto asked, shocking Kurenai at the way he addressed Wave's leader, while Yuga just shook her head. Naruto-san, you shouldn't address the daimyo like that, it's disrespectful. Kurenai scolded the blonde. It's quite alright, Kurenai-san. Naruto-kun did a lot for not only the country of Wave but for my family as well, Tsunade said with a smile, silencing any further scolding by the red-eyed jounin. I really didn't do that much, Tsunade-chan. Kakashi-sensei and the rest of Team 7 played their part, as well as Zabuza-san and Haku-san, Naruto said with a smile, remembering the person he considered his first friend from outside the village. Such humility, Naruto-kun. It would seem that more than just your body has matured over the past few years, Tsunade said, earning a slight nod of acknowledgement from Naruto. I had originally planned to put your team in one of our hotels, but seeing as Naruto is the leader, I would like to offer you a place to stay with me and my family. We have plenty of room for guests, and I'm sure both Inari-kun and my grandfather would be happy to see you again. Inari-kun was devastated when we learned that you had disappeared suddenly, but he kept a smile on his face and continued to help the village, saying that it was something you would have done, Naruto-kun. He did, huh? I'm glad he was able to change from the way he was when I was first here. As for your request, I would be honored to stay at your house, Tsunade-chan. It would be good to see Inari and Tazuna again. Maybe Inari can give me a quick tour later today, Naruto replied, earning a smile from Tsunade before she asked her secretary to call for her son. Tsunade and Naruto continued to talk about the change Wave had undergone while waiting for Inari to arrive, giving his team a chance to talk among themselves. Man, I can't believe how casually Naruto and the daimyo are talking. It's like they have been friends for years. Last time I accidentally talked to a daimyo like that, I was almost thrown in jail, Kiba said as he glanced at Naruto. Naruto is seen as a hero here, Kiba-san. Aside from naming the bridge after him, the daimyo also said that he had helped change her son. It would make sense that he is on good terms with the daimyo, Shino replied. Naruto-san has quite the track record for changing countries, don't you think, Yuga-chan? On his first mission out of Konoha, he managed to free Wave Country from Gato, and according to Kakashi, he played a major role in helping the Princess Koyuki defeat her uncle Doto in the Land of Snow, allowing her to take her rightful place as the daimyo of the new spring country, Kurenai said, receiving a nod from her friend. He definitely does. Naruto has a special quality that makes people want to believe in him. While he has greatly matured during his time in Anbu, Naruto still fights to be able to protect his friends and his village. His words have the power to make friends from even the worst of enemies, Yuga replied with a small smile. You really care about him, don't you? Kurenai asked, making her friend stiffen slightly. I am not sure, Kurenai-chan. A part of me tells me that I do, but the other part of me is scared to become too attached. I don't want another repeat of what happened with Hayate-kun to happen with Naruto, Yuga replied sadly, making Kurenai's eyes soften slightly. We are ninja, Yuga-chan. While we may not be able to guarantee our own safety and the safety of our friends, I believe Hayate would have wanted you to move on. Knowing that I could die at a moment's notice, whether it's today or a year from now, I would rather spend the rest of my time with someone who cares about me the same way I cared about them. Kurenai said, I can see that you truly care for Naruto, and I can see that he truly cares about you. Don't let this opportunity pass you by, Yuga-chan. I'll think about it, alright? Yuga replied as she gazed at her blonde comrade. Do you have anyone special, Kurenai-chan? You speak as if you have experience with my situation. While a lot of men have tried to get my attention, none of them have had the characteristics of someone I would want to be with. Most are perverts just looking to get with me, Kurenai replied. I see. What about Naruto-kun? I know he has a lot of characteristics that you are looking for, Kurenai-chan, Yuga asked, shocking her friend. Well, maybe a little. When I saw the way he had changed, regardless of his age, Naruto has a lot of characteristics that a lot of women would be attracted to. But after seeing how close the two of you are, I would never want to get between the two of you. It was nothing more than a silly thought, Kurenai replied. I see. Do you know about the laws passed down by the second Hokage about clan leaders that are the last of their line? Yuga asked. No, I don't. What would that have to do with Naruto-san, though? Kurenai replied. Naruto is the last of the Uzumaki clan and to a lesser extent the Namikaze clan as well. The Uzumaki clan is known across the elemental nations for both their knowledge of Fuinjutsu and the Uzumaki clan Kenjutsu style. The Namikaze clan, while being a small clan that not a lot of people knew about, was also well known for their Fuinjutsu, and were feared as some of the fastest fighters in the elemental nations. Naruto, as the last of both clans, has the right to take more than one wife to help him rebuild his clan under the CRA. Yuga explained, making Kurenai's eyes narrow. Taking more than one wife to meet someone's means for restoring a clan is not something I would be interested in, Yugao-chan. You know my standing on things like that. Kurenai replied, making Yugao nod. I do. Right now Naruto doesn't want to be placed in the CRA, but I think with the reputation of the Uzumaki clan, Naruto might get forced into it. Receiving little love and care growing up, Naruto doesn't want to be put into a loveless marriage just because of who his parents were, and would rather be able to choose who he wants to spend the rest of his life with. I'm not telling you to jump the gun on this, Kurenai-chan. All I'm trying to say is at least get to know him. Yugao said. Why are you telling me this, Yugao-chan? I can see how much you care for him, so why bring something like this up? Kurenai asked, making her friend sigh. I watched how Naruto-kun struggled growing up, always trying to earn the people's respect and attention, and with the burden he has had to deal with since birth, he deserves to have happiness in his life. Like I said earlier, Naruto-kun has a lot of qualities that women find desirable. Regardless of how my relationship with Naruto-kun progresses, I would hate to see him forced into a loveless marriage with some spoiled merchant's daughter. I've noticed the way a few others have been looking at Naruto. Shizen-san seems to be attracted to Naruto now as well, if only physically, but given the chance to get to know Naruto, I'm sure her feelings could grow to something deeper. There's one other that I know for sure has feelings for Naruto-kun, however, they are not mutual, and Naruto plans to confront her before they can escalate any further. Yugao said. Kurenai had a feeling that she knew who the mystery girl was, although she hoped she was wrong for the sake of her students' happiness. I see, I'll think about it, I guess, but I won't make any promises, Kurenai said, making Yugao nod shortly before a knock was heard and the door started to open. You called for me, Ka-chan? The young boy asked. Hello, Inari-kun, the shinobi from Konoha have arrived and I would like for you to show them to our house, Tsunade replied. Alright, but weren't they supposed to be staying in one of the hotels? Inari asked. At first I had planned to put them in one of our newer hotels, but a certain development has made me change my mind, Tsunade replied, earning a nod of understanding from her son. Ka-chan, did you ask them about Naruto-Nizan? Inari asked hopefully. I didn't have to, Inari-kun. Naruto-kun is here and is the one leading the team assigned to protect me during our talks with Kumo, Tsunade said, making Inari's eyes widen as he studied the Konoha shinobi in more detail, eventually coming to the form of a smirking blonde. Ni-san! Inari yelled as he ran and hugged Naruto, earning a chuckle from said blonde. Hey there, Inari, you sure have grown over the past few years. Your mother has told me a few interesting stories about you, Naruto said with a smile. What happened to you? We heard you just disappeared. We had thought you died. Everyone was so upset. Why did you just disappear, Inai-san? Inari asked sadly. My old teammate Sasuke decided to betray my village. I failed to get him to return, and it almost cost me my life. I had a lot of time to think about how my career as a shinobi had been up until that point, and I decided I had to make changes. I joined Konoha's Anbu forces a couple weeks later and trained under some of the best shinobi in Konoha for a couple years before making a name for myself, Naruto said, earning a nod from Inari. I understand, Inai-san. From what I read about Konoha's Anbu, they try not to bring attention to themselves. Maybe you can tell me some stories later, Inari said with a smile. Sure thing, Inari, but me and my team are tired. Please lead us to your mother's house and we can talk more there, alright? Naruto said, earning a nod from Inari before giving his mother a slight bow and leaving her office, followed closely by Naruto's team. Few hours later, after Inari had shown Naruto's team to where they would be staying, Naruto had asked Inari to take them on a quick tour of the village. Naruto had noticed the main part of the village had stayed pretty much the same, but had to go over the newer area surrounding it a few times so he could remember the layout and formulate a plan for his team later. After that, Kurenai and her team had retired to Tsunade's house to get a bit of rest while Yugao found a quiet place to practice her kenjutsu, leaving Naruto and Inari alone sitting on the beach. So what happened after you left here, Ni-san? Inari asked, wanting to get as many stories out of Naruto as he could. Well, a few months after my team returned to Konoha, we participated in the Chunin exams. Looking back at how I was back then, I'm surprised I was able to make it as far as I had. However, there was an invasion at the end of the exams. The traitor Orochimaru had tricked Suna into a joint attack, hoping he would be able to get revenge on the village he thought had wronged him. The battle was tough and many shinobi were lost on both sides, including both Suna and Konoha's Kage. I fought and eventually defeated Suna's Jinchuriki after he gave his demon full control by summoning the boss Toad Gamabunta and having him get close enough for me to wake him up since he had to fall asleep to give the demon complete control. Since that time we have become close friends. By that time Orochimaru had fled the village after our Sandaime Hokage sacrificed himself in attempts to seal away Orochimaru's soul, Naruto said. Whoa, what happened to the Suna ninja? You said they were tricked, right? Inari asked. Orikimura had killed the Kazekage and was impersonating him for his own gains. By the time Konoha had learned about this, Suna had already retreated back to their village. After negotiations, Suna and Konoha became allies, with Konoha's new Hokage asking for Suna's help during my mission to retrieve Sasuke, and they arrived just in time to save my friends. Naruto explained. Naruto went on to explain the reason as to why Sasuke left, and telling Inari of his fight with his old friend, leaving out the part of using Kyuubi's chakra as he thought that was something Inari didn't need to know. They talked for a few more hours as Naruto told Inari about his time in Anbu, meeting Yuga, and some of the missions they had gone on together. You and this Yuga girl seem really close, Nisan. I'd really like to meet her, Inari said. Well, you can. She is here with my team as part of your mother's security, the one with the purple hair, Naruto said, receiving a nod from Inari. Are you two like dating? You sound like you care about her a lot, Inari asked. I do care a lot about her, but we aren't dating or anything like that, just friends for right now, Naruto said. Replied. Do you want to date her? Inari asked, making Naruto stop to think. Did he want to date her? He had to admit she was very attractive and strong, two qualities that Naruto would look for in someone he wanted to be with, but she was also caring and nice. They had been through a lot together over his few years in Anbu, and Inari was right, they had grown very close. Truthfully, I would. Yuga-chan and I have been through a lot together over the past few years, and like you said, we have grown very close. However, Yuga-chan lost her fiancé before the invasion during the Chunin exams, and I'm not sure if she has moved on fully yet, or even if she feels the same way about me as I do her. You have to understand, Inari, that with the life we live it's hard to find love, and even if you find it there is no guarantee on how long it will last. There are also certain things about me that will make it difficult for me in the future. I have a lot of powerful enemies right now, and I'd hate to put someone like Yuga-chan in harm's way just for my personal gains, Naruto said, receiving a nod from Inari. I'm sure it will work out, Nisan, but we should get back home now. It's almost dinner time, and I'm sure there are things that my mother wishes to discuss with you, Inari said before standing up and walking back towards the village. You think so? Well, I hope you're right, Naruto said to himself as he too stood up and walked back to the village. Next day, late afternoon. Inari had been right. After dinner, Tsunade had taken Naruto and his team aside to discuss what the plan for the meeting was. Naruto and Yuga would accompany Tsunade to the meeting, while Kurenai and her team would set up a perimeter. In the off chance that the Kumo shinobi recognized Naruto as Minato's son, they hoped that Tsunade's plan of having Wave's hero present would be enough to make Kumo not want to start anything. Adding one of the best kenjutsu users in the elemental nations as extra backup was just extra precautionary measures. Naruto and Yuga were currently wandering around the city, hoping to spot the team from Kumo that they heard had arrived earlier, but so far they had had no luck locating them. You're sure they are here, Naruto-kun? Maybe Tsunade-san had wrong information, Yuga asked. I don't think so. The meeting is tomorrow. They have to be here somewhere, Naruto said before feeling a somewhat similar presence. Come with me, Yuga-chan. I think I know where they are. How? Yuga asked as Naruto led her through the streets, stopping a little bit away from one of Wave's newer hotels, and then noticed some Kumo shinobi standing outside it. I knew it, Naruto mumbled, earning Yuga's attention. Knew what, Naruto-kun? She asked. That blonde kunoichi, the one with long blonde hair, can you see her? Naruto asked, earning a nod from Yuga after a few moments of searching for her. What about her? She asked. She is Yujito ni Jounin of Kumo, and is also the Jinchuriki of the Two Tails, Naruto said, making Yuga's eyes widen. I knew where they were because I could feel a demonic presence similar to Kyuubi's. This changes things a little. I want you to find Kurenai and her team and tell her about this. I'm going to stick around and watch her a little more. Alright, just be safe, alright, Naruto-kun? Yuga said before heading to find Kurenai. Couple hours later. Naruto had been watching Yujito for the past few hours, not noticing anything to be off about the Jinchuriki. It was her teammates that bothered him. The looks they sent her when she wasn't looking, and the way they acted towards her made his eyes narrow in anger, reminding him of the looks he used to receive as a child. I shouldn't be surprised. Kumo is a village that prides itself on its militaristic strength. It would make sense that Jinchuriki would be seen as nothing more than tools, he said to himself, and then watched as Yujito left, heading towards one of the docks. Summoning a toad, Naruto gave it a message to deliver to Yuga and Kurenai, telling them he was going to follow Yujito for a while longer before returning to Tsunade's for the night. Having sent the message, Naruto left the cover of the alleyway and continued to follow Yujito through town. Coming to one of the docks farthest from the market area, Naruto watched as Yujito appeared to be meditating. You know you don't have to hide from me. I could sense your presence since leaving the hotel, she said as she looked towards the spot Naruto was hiding. Impressive. Not many people have the ability to sense me while I'm trying to stay hidden, but I guess you have something inside that helps you with that, huh? Naruto said as he appeared at the end of the dock, shocking Yujito. What are you talking about? Yujito stammered. I sensed you with my own skill, nothing more. Cut the act, I know who you are. Yujito ni, Jounin of Kumo, Jinchuriki of the two-tailed Hellcat. Naruto said, shocking Yujito. How do you know that? Does Konoha have spies in Kumo? Yujito asked as she got into a fighting stance. Easy, Yujito-san, I do not want to fight. Naruto said, making Yujito relax slightly. As for your question, no, Konoha doesn't have spies located in Kumo, and the reason for how I know doesn't matter. If you ask your tenant, I'm sure she will be able to tell you. While Naruto didn't rely on the Kyuubi's chakra, during his years in Anbu he had learned of the other Biju from the fox sealed inside him. While he knew the Biju didn't have actual genders, they act and sound a certain way, and some took the way they were addressed more seriously than others. How would he know about Unibi? If Konoha doesn't have spies in Kumo, there would be no possible way he would know about that, as the bingo book doesn't have me listed as a Jinchuriki. The reason he knows is because, like you, he is also a Jinchuriki, though I cannot sense what one of us he holds. He must suppress his Biju's chakra. I can only sense a small amount coming off of him. Be careful, Yujito-chan, even if he doesn't use his Biju's chakra, I can sense a powerful aura coming from him. I see your tenant has told you of what I am. As I said, I do not wish to fight you, Yujito-san, I just wanted to talk. Naruto said, earning a nod from Yujito. She told me what you are, but couldn't tell me what Biju you hold. You know a lot about me, but I know nothing about you, Shinobi-san. Yujito replied. Indeed you don't. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, elite Jounin of Konoha, Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed demon fox. Naruto said, mind if I sit with you? Sure, as long as you don't try anything. Yujito replied, earning a nod from Naruto as he took a seat next to her. Like I said, Yujito-san, I didn't come here to fight. How long did you know I was following you? Naruto asked. Nibi alerted me to your presence when I was at the hotel. I did not, however, expect you to follow me out here. Yujito replied as she gazed across the ocean. I see, as a team leader I was curious as to who Kumo would send. With the threat of the Akatsuki looming overhead, I didn't expect them to send one of their Jinchuriki on such a low-ranking mission. Naruto replied, making Yujito look at him questioningly. Akatsuki? Who or what is that? She asked. I see she doesn't even know that there is an organization of S-ranked criminals after her. I'm surprised you don't know who they are. The Akatsuki is a group of S-ranked ninja from around the elemental nations that is currently hunting people like you and me. Naruto replied. Right now we only know of two of their members, one being Itachi Uchiha, S-ranked criminal of Konoha, Uchiha prodigy that had entered Anbu by the age of 10, and was an Anbu captain by age 13, and is said to have been one of the strongest Uchihas since Madara. Not sure if that's actually in canon or not, but roll with it anyways. Itachi's a badass. His partner is Kisame Hashigaki, nicknamed the Tailless-Tailed Beast because of his supposed superhuman chakra levels, and is said to have been one of the strongest shinobi to ever come out of Kiri. Naruto said, shocking Yujito. If the rest of the members were anything like Itachi and Kisame, the Akatsuki would be a serious threat to any of the Jinchuriki. Why are you telling me this? Would it not be easier for Konoha if other villages' Jinchuriki are captured? Yujito asked. I believe you're missing the larger picture here, Yujito-san. An organization of S-ranked criminals with members like Itachi and Kisame wanting to gather the tailed beasts would be anything but good. We have yet to learn of their true intentions, but whatever it is I can guarantee it would be anything but peaceful. And besides, us Jinchuriki need to stick together. I saw the looks your teammates were giving you at the hotel. I received them a lot when I was younger. In fact, I received them up until I disappeared 3 years ago. Naruto said. My life in Kumo isn't all that bad. The Reikage's younger brother is also a Jinchuriki and has looked out for me since my mother died, so I'm pretty close with the Reikage and most of the village accepts me. Some, like the two you saw earlier, can't see past my inner demon even though I have full control of her. Yujito said sadly, earning a nod from Naruto. But even if most of the village accepts me, I still don't have a lot of friends back home. I see, you've had it a little easier than I have at least. Naruto said, earning Yujito's attention again. Growing up I never knew my parents. I lived in the orphanage until I was kicked out at the age of 6. The Sandaime Hokage was the only person who treated me nicely until my last year at the academy, where I earned friends and also a brotherly relationship with my sensei. I didn't even know I was a Jinchuriki until I was tricked by one of the teachers to steal the forbidden scroll after my 3rd time failing the academy. He told me if I could get the scroll I would pass and be able to become a genin. Turns out he was working for the traitor Orochimaru, and he tried to kill me. He told me about how our Yandaime Hokage couldn't kill the 9 tails, and instead had to seal it away. Something tells me that there is more where this came from. How could you live through all that and still be sane, not wanting to kill everyone? Yujito asked. I will admit I thought a lot about getting revenge when I was little, but I eventually found friends and people I could consider a family. I had finally gotten a little of the recognition I had always wanted growing up, and that's what stopped me from growing up to become a killer," Naruto said with a smile. "I see Nibi also tells me that you probably don't use or rely on your Biju's chakra. With that said thought, she also says I should be wary of you because of the powerful aura she can sense coming off you. She says you're most likely the Domina." Yujito started, then stopped, blushing crimson as her inner demon continued her train of thought. "Heh, perverted demon cat, never thought I'd see something like that," Naruto said with a smirk, earning a glare from Yujito. "But if you must know, I don't use the Kyuubi's chakra. I used to have to rely on it a lot when I was younger, but after certain events I decided it was time for a change. I joined Konoha's Anbu when I was 13 and only recently returned to Konoha's regular shinobi forces. This is actually my first mission as an elite jounin," Naruto said. "As for being dominating, couldn't tell ya, but something tells me that would be a role you would play." "Don't encourage Nibi Naruto-san," Yujito said with a blush, earning a laugh from Naruto. "Sorry Yujito-san, I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry, but I should probably get back to my team. Remember what I said about the Akatsuki, Yujito-san. Pass on the message to both the Reconnecting and his younger brother. I would recommend not going on any missions alone until something is done about them," Naruto said before digging into his pocket and pulling out a sealing tag Yujito didn't recognize and handed it over to her. "What is this for Naruto-san?" Yujito asked. "It's a reverse sealing tag specifically designed by me for my friends. If you are in danger, pump chakra into the tag and I will be able to teleport to you. You can only use it one time though before it runs out," Naruto explained, making Yujito's eyes widen. "Why are you giving this to me?" she asked. "As someone who is not only a Jinchuriki, but has also shared a similar past with me, we should stick together. Look out for the Akatsuki, anyone wearing a black cloak with red clouds, they are very powerful. I'm not downplaying your skills as I'm sure that you're a very capable kunoichi, but the Akatsuki is a very dangerous organization that will take more than just a few people to be able to stand up to them," Naruto explained, earning a thankful smile from Yujito. "Thank you Naruto-kun, I promise I'll use this if I need help," Yujito said as she stood up and prepared to leave. "Alright Yujito-chan, Kumo and Konoha might not be on the best of terms right now, but you can count on the Reaper's help if you need it. However, those who cross the Reaper don't live for very long," Naruto said with smirk before using Shunshin to go back to Tsunade's house, leaving a shocked Yujito behind. "Konoha's Reaper," Yujito said to herself. "I told you he was powerful Yujito-chan. Even with me I'm not sure you would be able to best him in a fight," Nibi said, leaving Yujito with a lot to think about on her way back to the hotel. With Naruto arriving back at Tsunade's house, Naruto made his way to find both Yuga and Kurenai with hopes of talking to them about the Nibi Jinchuriki. Tsunade-chan, do you know where Yuga-chan and Kurenai-san are?" Naruto asked as he saw Tsunade relaxing in the living room. "I think they are out back Naruto-kun, they went outside a little while ago," Tsunade replied, earning a nod from the blonde. Walking outside, Naruto found Yuga going through Kenjutsu katas while Kurenai watched. Yuga-chan, Kurenai-san, I need to talk with you about something," Naruto said, earning both their attention. "Naruto-kun, you're back. I was a little worried something might have happened, you were gone for a long time," Yuga said, stopping her training and walking over to Naruto, followed by Kurenai. "I'm fine Yuga-chan, don't worry. I followed her out to one of the docks, she knew I was following her, and called me out on the docks. The first few minutes were a little tense as she had thought I wanted to fight her, but I managed to calm her down. After that we talked for a while. I let her know about Kumo and we shared stories of our past. She is not well liked by some of the shinobi in her village, so we had a little in common. I was a little surprised she knew nothing about the Akatsuki, but I left her with a warning as well as one of my reverse summoning tags in the event she needs my help. I could tell she was strong, but the Akatsuki are not to be taken lightly," Naruto said, earning a nod from Yuga. "Do you think she is a threat tomorrow, Naruto-san?" Kurenai asked, making Naruto shake his head. "No, I don't think she will be. Nibi let her know I was a Jinchuriki, but she also told me the Nibi said to be wary of me. It also turns out the two-tailed Hellcat is a bit of a pervert," Naruto said with a laugh. "Really, that's all you got out of her, Naruto-kun? Was that her tailed beast was a pervert?" Yuga asked with a sweat drop. "Well, for the most it's not every day a two-tailed demon tells you that you look like the dominating type," Naruto said with a sheepish grin, earning a slight blush from Yuga and a tick mark on Kurenai's forehead. "Please get to the point, Naruto-san," Kurenai said, earning a nod from the blonde. "No fun, Kurenai-san," Naruto started, earning a glare from the red-eyed jounin before quickly continuing. "From what I gathered, she had a past slightly similar to my own. She is close to the Reconnecting's and the Reconnecting's little brother, who is Kumo's other Jinchuriki. Both are said to be the perfect hosts because they both have complete control over their Biju. Yujito is a jounin level kunoichi even without the Nibi's chakra, and from reports in the bingo book she is a skilled close-range fighter. However, I feel like we were able to connect in ways that normal people can't, which is why I gave her my special summoning tag. She is not a threat to any of us, however. I cannot guarantee that the other Kumo shinobi will be the same," so I would be prepared for anything. Alright Naruto-san, I'll let my team know to keep an eye out then, Kurenai said, receiving a nod in response. We should probably get some rest though, tomorrow will probably be long. And we need to be on alert, especially if the Kumo ambassador was to recognize me, Naruto said, receiving nods in agreement. They bid each other goodnight and left to their respective rooms, each having a lot to think about regarding conversations they had had today. Next day, Daimyo's office. Naruto and Yuga stood on either side of Tsunade as the ambassador from Kumo went over the agreement and restrictions laid down by Wave's daimyo. Across from them stood Yujito and one other shinobi Naruto didn't recognize. Outside, Kurenai and he team had set up a perimeter outside while keeping an eye on the other Kumo shinobi. In the off chance of something happening, Naruto felt secure with them keeping watch from the outside. Everything appears to be in order, Daimyo-sama. Reikage-sama will be pleased that you accepted our terms for this agreement, the ambassador from Kumo said with a smile as he took the papers and sealed them away, then stood up and put out his hand. Wave is grateful for your business, Ambassador-san. We look forward to working with you more in the future, Tsunade said with a smile of her own, as she stood up and shook the Kumo ambassador's hand before bidding him farewell. Naruto and Yujito shared one more look at Yujito left, receiving a smile from the Kumo jounin. That went better than we had hoped at least. Yuga sighed out after the door was shut. It doesn't seem like he recognized you either, which is a bonus. You're wrong, Yuga-chan. He recognized me the moment he saw me, he just chose not to say anything. They will most likely rush back to inform the Reikage about me, Naruto said before turning to Tsunade. I'm sorry, Tsunade-chan, but my team and I need to leave as soon as possible. A lot has happened on this mission, and it would be best for us to leave as soon as possible. I understand, Naruto-kun. I hope I will be able to see you again. Inari is going to be upset that you left without saying goodbye, Tsunade said with a small smile. Tell him I'm sorry, Tsunade-chan, and that I'll come to visit again sometime, Naruto said with a slight bow, before leaving with Yuga to get Kurenai and her team. A lot has changed, Naruto-kun. You've grown strong over the past 3 years. I'm sure regardless of whatever hardships you and your friends face in the future, you will be able to get through them, Tsunade said to herself, before sitting back down and doing paperwork with Naruto. Yuga-chan, can you get Kurenai and her team and wait for me on the other side of the bridge? There is something I would like to do, Naruto said, receiving a nod in response. Naruto shunted out of the area. Arriving at his intended area, Naruto proceeded to walk up a path leading to 2 graves. Haku-san, thank you for showing me what it truly meant to be strong. I've earned a lot of friends since I met you, fought a lot of tough enemies, and have made a name for myself on the Nindo that you had, which now lives on through me. Thank you, friend, Naruto said before saying a prayer for Zabuza as well and leaving to meet up with his team. Another mission to Wave that Naruto wouldn't forget anytime soon. New enemies, along with new friends, and a lot to think about regarding his purple-haired friend. Little did he know that Yuga was having similar thoughts about him. Eventful mission indeed. Konoha, day after Naruto's return. Upon arriving home the previous day, Naruto had asked Tsunade what she had done about the letter he had sent her, getting the reply that she had sent an Anbu team led by Kakashi to search the area, but wouldn't be expecting a reply till the next day. Naruto had given her his mission report before agreeing to meet her back at the tower the following day. Naruto was now on his way to the Hokage Tower, Yuga following slightly behind him. Do you think Kakashi-senpai is back yet, Naruto-kun? Yuga asked, getting a sigh out of her blonde friend. I don't know, Yuga-chan, I hope so. With Kakashi's Sharingan he should at least be able to pick something up, Naruto replied, although a little unsure of his own statement. Whoever it was the night before had been able to slip by him unnoticed, something that had not happened to him in a long time. Whoever it was, they were very good at hiding their presence, even from me. I know that's what bothers me, Naruto-kun. What if he comes back before we are ready for him? Yuga asked. A sense of hopelessness laced her voice that Naruto hadn't heard in a very long time, making his eyes soften slightly. Honestly, I'm not sure, Yuga-chan, Naruto started, but from what I gathered from our brief encounter he still had a long time to go until he had reached his full power. Same goes for both of us as well. There are still so many jutsus that I have yet to learn and master. We have time to train, become stronger. We both have access to my family's jutsu library, and I know for a fact that you want to learn the Uzumaki Kenjutsu style. Thank you, Naruto-kun, you're right. We both have time to grow, along with everyone else. You don't have to shoulder this burden on your own. I'll always be there to help you, and I'm sure there are others who feel the same way, Yuga said with a smile, earning a nod in return from Naruto. Thank you, Yuga-chan. I know that I have people I can count on in the Leaf, as well as other areas around the elemental nations, but we will all need to be at our best to deal with not only the Akatsuki, but this new threat as well, Naruto replied. But we should hurry to see Bachan. She said that Kakashi should be arriving around this time and I would like to be there for his report. Yuga replied with a nod as both she and Naruto quickened their pace towards the Hokage Tower. Hokage Tower. Tsunade sighed as she gazed at the scarecrow Jounin that had just entered her office. She could tell from how he held himself that they hadn't found much, if anything, as to who Naruto might have encountered the night before. Pressing the button on her intercom, she called for Shizen to send someone to find Naruto. No need for that, Bachan, I'm already here, Naruto said as he entered the window, making a tick mark appear on Tsunade's forehead. Sorry, Tsunade-sama, I tried to stop him, but he isn't a very good listener, Yuga said as she too appeared in the window. Tell me something I don't already know. Tsunade scoffed, earning a smirk from Naruto as he took a seat beside Kakashi, Yuga sitting next to him. So did you manage to find anything, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asked. Not much, Naruto. There were traces of chakra around the area, then a single trail leading away from the clearing. But we didn't get very far before it disappeared completely. If I had to guess, it was a long-range jutsu, very long range. Which would mean it would take a great deal of both chakra and control to be able to hold it for as long as you say they did, Kakashi stated, earning a nod from Naruto. In a way it resembles when Zabuza used the hidden mist technique on us during our first mission to Wave and made his voice reverberate through the fog, making it seem like he was everywhere at once, Naruto summarized, earning a nod from Kakashi. The Cyclops is right, brat. I could sense the chakra was being sent from far away, but inside the seal I couldn't tell just how far. The chakra felt old, almost very old, full of memory and anger. A voice inside Naruto's mind spoke, making the blonde's eyes widen slightly, attracting the attention of the others. Are you alright, Naruto-kun? Yuga asked, slight worry in her voice. Yeah, I'm fine, Yuga-chan. The Kyuubi just had something to say on the matter, Naruto replied, making the others have the same reaction he just did. What did it say? Kakashi asked, making Naruto sigh as he heard a slight growling in the back of his mind. He said that you were right about it being a long-range jutsu, but inside the seal he wasn't able to tell just how far the chakra came from. He also said that the chakra felt old, full of memories and anger, Naruto said. How old exactly? Could he tell? Tsunade asked. If they could get an age, they might be able to narrow the search down. No, I couldn't tell exactly, but it felt older than Madara, which means it goes back to before Konoha became a village, Kyuubi said, making Naruto frown. The fox said it felt older than Madara's chakra, which means it is also older than Konoha. This means that we most likely won't be able to trace it back to anyone, as there are no records from before that time, Naruto said, earning a nod from the rest present. Kyuubi, I would like to ask you to keep looking into this. You are the only one who would have information from a time before the great villages were formed. Our lives are connected. If I were to die, so would you, and while we may not see eye to eye on most things, I don't want you to die just because I wasn't strong enough, even though you would eventually reappear, Naruto said in his mind, slightly shocking the large fox, though he hid it very well. Alright, brat, I'll look into it, but I can't promise anything, so don't get your hopes up too high. Just remember, I'm only doing this because I don't want to die. Reforming takes time, and honestly it really sucks, Kyuubi replied, making Naruto nod with a slight smile. I asked the fox to look into it. Being around pretty much since the birth of Shinobi, he has seen a lot, and is probably our best bet to actually find something out about whoever we encountered the other night, Naruto said. I may not like it, but you have a point. The Kyuubi is one of the only beings old enough to know what happened before the formation of the 5 great villages. While the Sonya clan kept detailed record of events that happened before Konoha was formed, most of the documents have been lost over the years, or are worn beyond recognition, Tsunade said. It would seem that at this moment, there is little left to be said about what happened during the mission. But I would like to make a request, Bachan, Naruto said, getting Tsunade's attention. Naruto hardly requested anything from her anymore, unless it was very important. I'm listening. I would like you to call together teams 8, 9, and 10, along with their senseis. I would also like you to call Sakura, Shizen, Ayam, Tuchi, and Irika to come as well. I think it's time that they learn the truth of who and what I really am, Naruto said, making Tsunade's eyes widen slightly. Are you sure, brat? I mean, you just came back and everything. They are still trying to get used to the new you, I guess, Tsunade said, but earned a nod from Naruto. Groaning at the thought of how much paperwork this would create for her, Tsunade told Shizen to send for the people Naruto had asked for. 15 minutes later, Naruto stood in front of his friends, their senseis, and the 3 people he could call family. I've asked Bachan to call you all here today to discuss a few things, Naruto started, gaining everyone's attention. There are many things that you do not know about me, and being my friends and people I consider family, I believe you all have a right to know the truth. Irika paled slightly after hearing Naruto say that he wasn't going to tell them that, was he? What do you mean, Naruto? Sakura asked. Naruto sighed, trying to find the right place to start his little speech. I guess it would be best for me to start from the beginning. 16 years ago, October the 10th, what day does that mark? Naruto asked. That's the day the Kyuubi attacked the village, Shikamaru stated, earning a nod from Naruto. Exactly. Now, even though the Yondaime was considered to be one of, if not the strongest, Hokage to lead Konoha, he couldn't kill the Kyuubi. No one can. Naruto started, confirming Irika's thoughts from earlier. I really hope you know what you're doing, Naruto. I would hate for this to backfire on you, Irika thought, as well as I am and Tuchi, as they knew exactly what he was, not that it mattered to them. The 9 Biju is large masses of chakra able to take physical form. Their power is based on how many tails they have. The Ichibi Shikaku is the weakest of the tailed beasts, while the Kyuubi is the strongest. That being said, the only way to defeat a Biju is to seal it away. You mean like Gaara, right? Sakura asked. Yes, although Gaara's seal was iffy at best, hardly strong enough to hold the bloodthirsty desires of Shikaku, which is the reason why Gaara was the way he was during the Chunin exams. Naruto explained, earning nods from those around the room. There is a total of 9 Biju, which means there are 9 Jinchuriki, which is the term given to those that hold the Biju inside them. 9? How do you know that? Tenten asked, slightly intrigued by what she was hearing. During my days in Anbu I came across bingo book entries of a few of the Jinchuriki. Kumo houses the 2 tails and the 8 tails. Both Jinchuriki have complete control over their Biju, and can use its power freely, even being able to transform into the Biju themselves. Waterfall holds the 7 tails. We do not know much about their Jinchuriki, other than the fact that she is roughly around our age. Suna has the Ichibi Shikaku, who is sealed inside their Kazekage Gaara, but you all knew that. And, as some of you may have already guessed, Konoha houses the Jinchuriki of the 9 tails. Naruto said, causing a few eyes to widen in surprise. How come we never knew about this? Sakura asked, her question directed more towards Tsunade than Naruto. The Sandaime created a law on the night of the Kyuubi attack, forbidding people to talk about who the Jinchuriki was, but that didn't stop them from telling their children to stay away from him. Naruto said, causing Shikamaru and Niji's eyes to widen. It's you, isn't it, Naruto? Shikamaru asked. I figured you would be the first to figure it out, Shikamaru. It would seem that you and Niji figured it out as well as Shino. Naruto said, earning the attention of those that had not yet figured it out. That's what you meant in the Chunin exams, isn't it, Naruto, about knowing my burden? That would also explain the red chakra I saw when you reopened your chakra points. Niji said. Knowing the truth, Niji felt ashamed of how he had talked to Naruto that day, something that Naruto picked up on. Yes, it is Niji. However, I do not want you to feel bad about anything that happened that day. You had no idea at the time, so I can't hold what you said against you. Besides, it all worked in the end and we have become friends since then. Naruto said, earning a thankful nod from Niji. Why didn't you tell us this before, Naruto? Sakura asked. Understand, Sakura, that when I was younger, people would trick me into believing they liked me. A lot of the time it would end with me being beaten in an alleyway before the Anbu intervened. I was afraid of telling all of you because I was scared that you wouldn't be able to look at me the same again. We were all young, and you wouldn't have been as understanding as you are now. Naruto explained. Sakura had to admit he had a point. Back then she didn't know how she would have reacted to the news. She was a fresh out of the academy genin. She probably would have been scared of him. That is why you had Anbu watching over you as a child, why the villagers didn't like you. How could they? They should have known the difference between the jailer and the jailed. Ino said, surprising everyone in the room. They never thought Ino would have reacted like that. Hey, you have to look at it from their standpoint, Ino-san. The Kyuubi was easily the scariest thing that any of them had ever seen. People lost sons, daughters, fathers, and mothers that day. While I'm not saying what they did to me was right, I can understand where they are coming from. It's human nature to fear the unknown, and at that time they were still unsure if I was actually me, or the Kyuubi. Naruto explained. That is a logical answer, Naruto, although I am sure there are those who would have not changed their opinion on you. Shino said, earning a nod from Naruto. I'm sure there wouldn't have, as we have similarities to the way people look at us for what we hold inside us. But I was young and naive then, and like I said earlier, scared as well. Naruto said. But why would the Yondaime choose you? I'm sure he could have chosen any number of people to take the burden. Lee asked, unusually calm after listening to what Naruto had to say. That, Lee, is a very good question. It also brings me to the other part of what I wanted to talk to you about. During my time in Anbu I found out who my parents were. Naruto said. Now that statement alone was enough to get everyone's attention again. Really? That's great, Naruto. Who were they? Sakura asked, happy that her old teammate had finally found a part of his childhood he was missing. Some of the Jounin might know my mother. She was the only kunoichi said to be on par with Bachan over there. Naruto said, as he pointed at Tsunade. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki, and before me she was the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. She was brought to Konoha from Yuzushiobikure, village hidden by the whirling tides. When she was young, her chakra was very special, easily able to bind the Kyuubi. although she didn't have access to its chakra as I do. As far as I know, aside from myself, she was the last of our clan. I've never heard of the Uzumaki clan before. Why is that? Sakura asked. The Uzumaki clan was renowned worldwide for their skills in both Fuinjutsu and their fearsome Kenjutsu style, said to be one of the strongest in all the elemental nations. For that reason, Uzushiogakure was wiped out during the Second Great Shinobi War. The symbol on the back of the Chunin and Jounin flak jackets is actually the symbol of my clan and homeland, as we are distant relatives of the Senju. Naruto said, in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if we were actually related, Bachan. I would like for you to run some blood tests when this is over if you wouldn't mind. I'd be happy to, Naruto. Tsunade said happily. The chance at her actually having a family member, even if it was small, was something she wouldn't pass up. Thank you, Naruto said with a smile, then continued, the fact that my mother and father were together was a very well-kept secret, as my father had many enemies both in and out of the village, and only a handful of people actually knew they were together. 2 of those people are in this room right now, while the 3rd is probably off somewhere peeking at women in the bathhouse. I remember when your father found out that Kushina was pregnant with you, he had ordered me to keep a watch over her to make sure she was okay at all times. He was really paranoid about it, Kakashi said offhandedly, making the others in the room look at him. You knew about this, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked, earning a nod from the scarecrow. Why didn't you ever say anything about it then? It was never my place to tell. Kakashi shrugged. That responsibility fell to Naruto's godfather and godmother. Who were they? Ino asked. Me, as well as Jiraiya, but personal reasons kept us both away from the village for a long period of time. Although if I had known Naruto was actually still alive, I would have come back a lot sooner, Tsunade said with a smile as she looked at Naruto. You had 2 out of 3 Sannin as your godparents. Kiba all but shouted, who the hell was your father? My father was from one of the lesser clans in Konoha, the Namikaze, Naruto said, making the older people in the room, aside from those that already knew, go wide-eyed with shock. Namikaze, as in Minato Namikaze the Yandame Hokage? Shizen asked, now shocking the rest of the genin as well. The one and only Shizen-chan, Naruto said with a smile, earning another small blush from the Hokage's assistant, one that didn't go unnoticed by both Kurenai and Yuga. I knew it, she finds him physically attractive, not that I blame her. If Naruto was to develop feelings for her, I know she would eventually return them, Yuga thought as she looked at Shizen. Looks like Yuga-chan was right, Shizen seems to be attracted to Naruto. Although once what he just told us becomes public knowledge, I'm sure a lot of women will be screaming his name. Kurenai thought as well, thinking back to the conversation she had with Yuga during their mission to Wave. Unknown to those in Konoha, similar talks were going on in Kumo. Kumo, inside the Reikage's office. Are you 100% sure this is true? A very large man asked as he looked at the man sitting across from him. Yes, Eisama. There is no doubt in my mind that the Konoha ninja I saw was the son of Minato Namikaze, Yandame Hokage of Konoha, the small man said, making the Reikage smirk. I see, this could be either good or bad, depending on how we play our cards. Do you know if any of our ninja had a chance to see him before or after the meeting? The Reikage asked. I know Yujito had talked to him before. She left early in the afternoon, and didn't come until later in the evening. She told us it would be unwise to anger the Konoha nin, although she didn't say why exactly. But when I saw him the next day it made sense. The boy radiates a powerful aura that demands respect, the man said. Thank you for delivering this bit of news to me. On your way out, could you tell my secretary to call for Yujito and B for me? The Reikage asked, earning a nod from the man before he bowed slightly and left. Back in Konoha. It makes sense, really. Shikimura started. Naruto is pretty much a spitting image of Yandame. I'm surprised we didn't realize it earlier. But I'm going to assume that the reason you didn't know about it was for the same reason he kept his relationship a secret, right? As usual, you're right, Shikimura. Sandaime thought it would be been best for me to learn about it after I had become Chunin. I would have had the skills to at least defend myself by that point. But because I went into Anbu before I could get into a second Chunin exams, I was told after about a year by Bachan, Naruto explained. I believe that is also the reason he chose to seal the Kyuubi inside of me. I know if I were to be in that position it would be very hard for me to ask someone else to sacrifice their child. Do you hate your father for what he did to you? Sakura asked, making Naruto shake his head. I might have a little when I first found out, but if it wasn't for him sealing the Kyuubi inside of me I wouldn't be where I am today, or the person that I am. Granted, I might have had an easier time in school, more friends, and wouldn't have to deal with the bloodthirsty fox, but I don't think I would have matured as fast as I had to, or learned to deal with hardships from an early age like I did. Naruto replied, I wanted to tell you guys this before announcing it to the village as a whole. As the people that are closest to me, I thought you would deserve to hear it directly from me, in person. When do you plan on announcing it to the village, Naruto-kun? Yuga asked. I don't know for sure. I know that Bachan and I will have to have a meeting with the council first, and choose what name I want to take, so probably a day or two after the next council meeting. Naruto replied, then turned to Tsunade. I think I want to keep my mother's name Bachan. Are you sure, Naruto? We discussed taking both names, I'm sure it would be fine with the council. Tsunade replied. I'm sure this is what I want, Bachan. The Uzumaki were well known and feared throughout the elemental nations, while the Namikes were just a small clan that didn't have much. Having the Uzumaki clan reborn in Konoha would add a great military asset to our village. The Uzumaki Kenjutsu style would be even more dangerous given my Namike's heritage, which has made me faster and able to react quicker to incoming attacks. The Namikes and Uzumaki were also well versed in their own Fuinjutsu, and I've been able to learn a little from both styles, and I'm currently trying to combine the two into one style. Also, from what I've heard, I act a lot more like my mother than my father. Naruto explained, earning a nod from the busty Hokage. I see you do remind me a lot of Kushina-chan, brat. Tsunade said with a smile, making Naruto smile in turn. If that is what you want, Naruto, then I have no intention of arguing with you. We can discuss it when we go to see the council about announcing your heritage. Thank you, Bachan. Naruto said with a smile, then, getting a sudden though, turned back to his friends. Another thing you need to know about is the Akatsuki, a criminal organization of S-ranked criminals. I've had a couple run-ins with them already, as have Kurenai, Asuma, Guy, and Kakashi-sensei. Naruto said. Why do we need to know about them? Kiba asked. Aside from the fact they are a group of S-ranked missing means, as I just said, they are after the 9 Jinchuriki. That obviously means that Gaara and I are targets, and a Jounin from Kumo. Itachi Uchiha is part of their group, as well as his partner Kisame, who you four had the pleasure of fighting. Naruto said, as he pointed to the 4 older Jounin in the room. Even the 4 of you combined couldn't take them out. The only reason I wasn't taken that day is because Jiraiya made in it time between Sasuke foolishly challenged his older brother, and paid the price for me. Do we know anything about any other members? Kurenai asked, remembering how easily Itachi had defeated her. As of right now, we don't have a lot of information about them, only that they work in groups of 2 at all times. Orochimaru used to be a part of their group as well, so we can only assume a group that holds company like that will be powerful. Naruto said. In truth, they had information on most of their members thanks to a little weasel that Naruto learned about after a couple years in Anbu. However, that was classified information, and he did not feel like making up an excuse as to how they knew so much. However, the point I'm trying to get across is that at all of your current levels, a run-in with an Akatsuki member like Itachi or Kisame would most likely lead to your death in a one-on-one confrontation. The only people in Konoha right now who might be able to deal with someone like Itachi or Kisame would be myself, Erosenin, and Bachan. Asuma, Yugao-chan, Kakashi-sensei, and Guy might be able to fight them to a draw, and while I hate to say this, Kurenai, with your limited ability in both taijutsu and ninjutsu, going up against them by yourself would be suicidal. I hate to admit it, Naruto, but you're right. My specialty is genjutsu, and going up against Itachi, and the person nicknamed the Tailless Biju, with only genjutsu wouldn't end well for me. Kurenai said dejectedly. Yes, however, Naruto started, earning her attention, since you need the most help, I will make you an offer. I'm listening. Kurenai replied. I will offer to train you in both taijutsu and ninjutsu, and I can offer you a wide variety of weapons training as well, from ninjato to bow staffs. Naruto said, making Kurenai's eyes widen. I don't know, Naruto, Kurenai said. She wasn't sure how having someone younger than her giving her lessons would affect her reputation within Konoha. If you are worried about the difference in age, I'll have you know that I've taught Yugao-chan a few things, as well as Kakashi. But if it would make you feel better, I'm sure that whenever I'm not helping Yugao train, she would be willing to help you. She is living with me after all, and I have given her full access to my family's jutsu library. Wait, why make Kurenai-sensei this offer, but not any of us? Kiba asked. I made Kurenai this offer because, as we said earlier, with her limited skills in taijutsu and ninjutsu, she wouldn't be able to do much of anything if she was to run into Akatsuki. At the same time, most of you have clans to learn from, while Sakura and Ino are both learning from Tsunade. So I made her the offer because you all have available sources to learn from, while Kurenai is not so lucky. Naruto replied. Wait, you said you were proficient in a variety of weapons, right, Naruto? Tenten asked, receiving a nod as her reply. Oh, would you want to spar sometime? I would like to see how my mastery of weapons matches up to yours. That would be fine with me. You will have to catch me at a time when I'm not busy though. If anyone else wants to spar sometime, the same rules apply, although I will not be able to help you all with training. Naruto said, earning nods from around the room. That's all I wanted to talk about today, Bachan, so if you don't mind, me and Yugao-chan will be leaving to go get some training in. Naruto started, then turned back to Kurenai. Think about my offer, please, Kurenai. Having a good reputation means nothing if you're dead. Tucci, Ayamiz, and Irika, you are all welcome at my compound whenever you want, or if you are ever in need of anything, do not hesitate to ask. We should get lunch before training Naruto-kun, Yuga said, earning a nod from Naruto as they disappeared via Shunshin. I can't believe Itachi started, earning everyone's attention. What Tucci-san? Kakashi asked. The son of the Yondaime was my #1 customer. Think of the business I will get once word of his heritage gets out. Tucci replied happily, causing his daughter to sweat drop. Back in Kumo. Yujito fidgeted slightly as she stood across from both A and B, slowly digesting the information she had just learned about a certain blonde she met during her mission to Wave. So you're telling me that Konoha's Reaper is not only a Jinchuriki like B and I, but is also the last of 2 clans, those being the Namikes and Uzumaki? Yujito asked, earning a nod from A. It's a good thing I didn't get into a fight with him then, she said nervously, trying to lighten the mood a little. You are also lucky that while we are on shaky terms with Konoha we are not outright allies. From what you told me of him he could have killed you, regardless of if you had used the Nibi's chakra or not. I said I believe he would know our ambassador would recognize him, which is probably why he told you of his status. He wanted to let you know in advance that fighting him would be a battle that you would not be able to win. That may be true, but he also gave me a lot of information about this group, the Akatsuki, and even went as far as giving me a reverse summoning tag in the chance I ran into them. If I may, A-sama, I would suggest trying to make an ally out of Konoha. Naruto is powerful now, but I can tell that he still has a lot of room to grow. Along with that, they still have 2 out of the 3 Sannin in and around the village. And I don't need to remind you about their growing list of A-ranked jounin in the bingo books from across the elemental nations. Yujito said nervously, watching as they seemed to think about her proposal. I will think about it, Yujito. Both you and B are important to me, along with others in our village. The threat of the Akatsuki is not one to be taken lightly. And while I hate to admit it, Konoha does have higher caliber jounin than we do, and while we have both you and B, you said earlier that the last Namikes would be able to defeat you should a fight between the 2 of you occur, and between him, Jiraiya, Tsunade and Kakashi, they would probably be able to take out B eventually as well. I replied, earning a nod from Yujito. I can't help but feel that there is something more at work here though, so for now unless specifically asked by me, I don't want either of you going too far from the village. Of course, Asama. Be careful of any missions you accept for us though, the council has never really liked B and I, Yujito said before being dismissed. I can't rap and found it really hard to make a rhyming sentence that made sense, so B will probably not rap his sentences out in this story. Our little kitty seems to think highly of the young Namikaze bro killer, B said, earning a nod from the Reikage. Yes, she does. Perhaps we could use that to our advantage if peace talks come up. I replied, your brat sure has made a name for himself, Minato. It's only a matter of time before he surpasses you. Later that night, in Konoha. After a quick lunch at the dango shop, Naruto and Yuga had spent most of the afternoon training. Both had spent a little bit of time going through the Namikaze and Uzumaki clan libraries before picking out a few scrolls each to practice with. Yuga had chosen a Kenjutsu scroll to study, along with a few Suiton jutsus. Naruto had taken some of his father's notes pertaining to the Hiraishin and had spent most of the afternoon looking over them. After their training was finished, Yuga had told him she wanted to hang out with her friends, and left Naruto to his own devices. Having nothing better to do, Naruto decided to walk around Konoha, being able to enjoy Konoha's nightlife for the first time since he had joined Anbu. Over the past few days he had a lot of time to think over the conversation he and Inari had had during his stay in Wave. He wasn't confused about how he felt. He knew that he liked Yuga, but there were a few things that stopped him from acting on his feelings. The first was hate. He knew that Yuga, while not as much as she was before, was still in pain over her ex-fiancé's death during the Chunin exams. The second was the fact that he was a clan head, and would probably be asked to be placed in the CRA. While not wanting to be forced to take more than one wife, his desire to keep his mother's clan living outweighed those thoughts, and he didn't think Yuga would want to be a part of something like that. Thinking about the CRA brought him to another train of thoughts, not wanting to be forced into a loveless marriage, which he thought was most likely to happen. What's bothering you, Naruto? He heard, and turned to see Kakashi walking out of one of the stalls he had just passed. Hey Kakashi-sensei, I'm troubled by certain things regarding being a clan head, Naruto replied as Kakashi fell into step beside him. You mean the CRA, and I'm going to go out on a limb and also guess what that means regarding a certain purple-haired ex-Anbu of mine, right? Kakashi said, making Naruto nod. You know too much for your own good, Kakashi-sensei, he replied, earning a shoulder shrug from his old sensei. I saw the same look on your father's face when the council had asked him to join the CRA. Luckily for him, though, Kushina had shot the idea down before they could convince him to go along with it. Your mother could be quite convincing, if she wanted to be, Kakashi said. As for the issue regarding Yuga, I've caught you looking at her the same way you used to look at Sakura. I may not have been a good sensei when you were younger, but I got to know you a lot better during your time in Anbu. My father was asked to be part of the CRA as well? I thought the Namikaze was just a small-time clan, Naruto asked. They were, However, Minato was a special case. Your father was an extremely powerful man, Naruto, both well respected and feared. While you take a lot from your mother, you also have a lot of qualities that your father had. If we were to have more shinobi like you in the village, Kakashi said, then the Namikaze clan would have become a very powerful clan for Konoha to have. I see. Naruto finished. But you also said that I have a lot of traits from my mother, who was also very powerful in her own right. My father would have had to marry powerful kunoichi for something like that to work, not some merchant's daughter. Yes, he would have, but for your father that wouldn't have been an issue. He was a very popular man among many people, kunoichi included. Kakashi said, you seem to be following quite closely in his footsteps, I might add. What do you mean? Naruto asked. From what I've seen, you seem to be quite popular as well with both the civilian and shinobi population. People seem to be quite jealous that you and Yuga seem to be quite close to each other. Kakashi said, I've also noticed that you are getting a lot of female attention even as we speak. Naruto took a look around. Kakashi had been right. He saw quite a bit of the female population looking at him with want in their eyes. I see what you mean, however I do not want a relationship built on what clans I come from, or who my father was. I also don't want to be wed to some spoiled merchant's daughter. Naruto replied, if I decide to accept the CRA, I will have a couple years to find suitable wives before the council starts to just push people on me. Hopefully I can figure something out in that time. I'm sure that you will, Naruto. I would recommend starting with people that you already know. I know of a few people who already seem to have taken an interest in you. Kakashi said, getting Naruto's attention. However, I am not going to reveal who those people are, because that would ruin the fun. I should have known that you wouldn't, Kakashi-sensei. I know at least one person who seems to have feelings for me, but I have to admit her feelings are based on fake grounds. I am not, and never was the person she thought me to be, Naruto said, earning a nod from Kakashi. Hinata, you mean? She is powerful in her own right, even if she doesn't know it. She is also very beautiful, but I have to agree that her feelings are based on the old you, at least the one you wanted everyone to believe was you. Kakashi replied, I would recommend talking to her about it soon. If you leave it for much longer it will be harder for her to understand. I know I wanted to talk to her about it on the mission we went on, but things came up and I never got the chance. I care for Hinata, just not in the same way she cares for me. I need to think of a way to tell her where I won't hurt her too much. Naruto said. I can't help you there, Naruto. In a way she is as bad as Sakura was with Sasuke, she just doesn't outwardly show it. She is too shy, lacking in self-confidence from how her family treats her to be able to express how she feels. However, I think I should confront her before she gains the courage to tell me. It would be an even bigger hit to her confidence if after finally getting the courage to tell someone her feelings they don't share them. Naruto replied. Well, you have time to think about it. Kurenai and her old team left on a mission a couple hours ago and probably won't be back for a few days. Kakashi said. I see, thanks Kakashi-sensei. Maybe I'll ask Yuga about it. Naruto replied, earning a nod from Kakashi before deciding to go back home. Next morning, somewhere in the land of grass, Itachi woke slowly. Having spent the night outside instead of in a cave, his eyes needed time to adjust. Looking around, his eyes narrowed slightly. Kisame had been with him the night before, but now he was nowhere to be found, and Kisame had never walked off without telling Itachi about where he was going. I see you're awake now, Itachi-san. That's good because we have a lot to discuss. A voice said. Turning, Itachi came face to face with deep purple eyes. Then talk. I am in the middle of hunting for the 9 tails. Itachi said emotionlessly. You would do well to remember your place while talking to a god, Itachi-san. I've come to let you know that you are no longer a part of the Akatsuki. I've received information recently that has made me question your loyalty towards me. Rather than take a chance, I've decided to deal with you myself, Pain said as he got into a fighting stance. I'm not strong enough to fight Pain and come out the victor. The first need to create an opportunity to get away. How could he have known I was working for Konoha though? I didn't think Tobi would tell him. Itachi thought as he made distance between himself and the Rinnegan user, activating his Sharingan. The Sharingan is useless against these eyes, Itachi. You cannot hope to defeat me, Pain said. We will see, Itachi replied before going through a set of hand signs. Katan, Hozenka no Jutsu, Itachi said as he spit 6 fireballs towards the leader of the Akatsuki, who merely scoffed as he waited for them to get close. Shinra Tensei, he said calmly as a gravitational force was pushed from his body, dissipating the fireballs Itachi had sent at him. He then charged at Itachi to engage in taijutsu, sending a flurry of kicks and punches towards the Uchiha who, thanks to his Sharingan, was able to evade most of the attacks. Ducking a kick that was sent for his head, Itachi tried to counter with a jab to the body as he saw an opening in Pain's defense. Much to Itachi's shock, however, Pain spun quickly, using his left hand to swat Itachi's punch away, while using his right to punch Itachi in the face, sending him skidding backwards. How did you see that attack? Itachi asked. He then tensed as he saw the 5 other paths of Pain land in the clearing. Things just went from bad to worse for the Uchiha. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Itachi said as he made 2 clones of himself, before they went through a set of hand signs. Katan, Gokakyu no Jutsu, the clone said as they shot 2 large fireballs towards Pain, forcing the Preta Path absorb one, while Deva used Shinra Tensei to deflect the other. The 2 clones then ran in behind the fireball, hoping to take out the Preta Path as he finished absorbing the fireball, but were stopped by the Azura Path. Bunshin by Bakuho, Itachi said, causing the 2 clones to explode, creating a large layer of smoke around the clearing. Using this as an opportunity to escape, Itachi quickly made 2 more shadow clones before having them split off in different directions. It would seem he got away at Leader-sama, a large blue man with shark-like features said as he came out of the forest after the smoke had cleared. It doesn't matter, he will die whether it's by my hand or someone else's, Pain replied before a beautiful woman with blue hair landed beside him. What do you want us to do about him, Pain? The woman asked. Conan, I want you to take Kisame and track him down. I don't care how you do it, just make sure you kill him. He will regret the day he tested the powers of a god, Pain said, earning a nod from Conan, who then spared a glance at the large shark-like man before taking off in the direction she felt Itachi go. Kisame, do not fail me, and make sure you get his ring, Pain said before using a shunshin to leave, leaving Kisame alone in the clearing. So Itachi was a spy this whole time, how this could make things interesting if he gets away, Kisame said to himself, and then left in the same direction Conan had gone a few moments before. Konoha, few hours later. Tsunade was sitting behind her desk doing paperwork, when a sudden tapping sound was heard from her window. Turning around, she was shocked to see a large crow sitting on the other side of the window, scroll held in its beak. Tsunade opened the window before taking the scroll from the crow, which then disappeared in a puff of smoke. That's strange, the only person I remember having a summoning contract with the crows was Tsunade thought, before eyes going wide and quickly opening the scroll. Shit! Tsunade said before yelling for Shizen. What is it, Tsunade-sama? Shizen said as she entered the office. Get me Naruto, Yuga, Kakashi and Guy quickly. Tell Kakashi this is an S-ranked mission and not to be late, she said, earning a quick nod from Shizen, who sent for the people Tsunade had called for. 5 minutes later, the 4 ninjas Tsunade had called for were standing at attention in front of her desk. What did you call us here for, Tsunade-sama? Naruto asked seriously. I've just received an urgent message. Anbu, codename Weasel, has been compromised and has requested immediate help at Anbu Safe House D, located on the border of the Land of Fire and the Land of Grass, Tsunade said, making Naruto's and Kakashi's eyes widen. Who is Weasel, Naruto-kun? Yuga asked, hearing the blonde sigh. Weasel is Itachi Uchiha. But Itachi is a criminal, he slaughtered his clan, how could he still be working for Konoha? Yuga said, causing Naruto to sigh. Yugao-chan, there are certain things pertaining to the Uchiha massacre that are almost as big a secret as my heritage, Naruto said. He then glanced at Tsunade, who in turn nodded, knowing what Naruto wanted. I'm going to ask both you and Gai-sen to not interrupt me as I explain everything that happened prior to that night. Can I get a guarantee from both of you for that? Of course, Naruto-kun, Yugao said, as Guy nodded his head. Thank you. It pretty much started during the time of the second Hokage when Tobarama-sama created the Uchiha police force, and forced their clan to the outskirts of the village. Having believed they were the most powerful clan in Konoha, they took it as an insult that they were forced to the outskirts of Konoha. From that point onward, the Uchiha felt segregated from the rest of Konoha. They received constant suspicion and discrimination that eventually led to their hatred of the village. They planned to use Itachi as a spy for the Uchiha clan, but Itachi was smarter than they, though. He knew that an uprising of the Uchiha would most likely lead to another shinobi war, so he became a double agent, telling Konoha of the Uchiha's planned coup d'etat. Naruto started, surprising both Guy and Yugao, before Kakashi continued. Itachi was convinced by Danzo that killing his entire clan was the only viable option for stopping the rebellion, and Itachi agreed to it under the terms that Sandaime-sama would watch over and care for Sasuke. After the massacre, Itachi infiltrated the Akatsuki, and has been providing Konoha with information on them ever since, Kakashi said, making Tsunade nod, confirming his explanation. Did Itachi manage to say who discovered him? Or who is currently following him? Naruto asked, earning a nod from Tsunade. Yes, in his scroll he said that he was confronted by Pain, the supposed leader of Akatsuki, and engaged in combat till a time when he felt he could escape. He is currently being followed by Kisame and a woman named Konan, Tsunade said, causing Naruto's eyes to widen. Fuck, that isn't good. Both Konan and Kisame are extremely dangerous opponents. You all know Kisame is an ex-Kirin no Shinobigatana, 7 swordsman of the mist, and is nicknamed the Tailless Biju for his massive chakra reserves, but Konan is someone we don't have a lot of info on. Itachi stated that she primarily uses long-range paper ninjutsu, something she was able to create after fusing her chakra into origami creations. She is known as the Angel of Aim, and supposedly is very intelligent when it comes to combat. Naruto said. She is also close to their leader Pain, and is usually always by his side. Can you tell us anything about Pain, Naruto-kun? Guy asked. I will tell you this once, if for whatever reason Pain is with Konan and Kisame, we will be forced to either flee, or fight to the death. Pain is the only known person who wields the Rinnegan, the legendary dojutsu of the Sage of the Six Paths. Even fighting together, our odds of winning against him are slim without knowing the full capabilities of his eyes. Naruto stated, shocking those present. The Rinnegan, I thought that was just a myth. Kakashi said. It was believed to be a myth because no one had been born with the Rinnegan since the Sage. However, Itachi says he had seen it with his own eyes, and that's not something Itachi would lie about. Naruto said. I'm going to assume you called us here so we could meet with Itachi at the extraction point, right? Yes, however I also called you because most of you have experience fighting with Akatsuki, or ninja close to that caliber. Guy has fought with Kisame before, and with Yuga being a kenjutsu expert, having them fight against Kisame would work well, I think. You are both close-range specialists, and according to our reports Kisame relies mainly on kenjutsu, but don't let your guard down. That leaves Kakashi and Naruto to take on Konan. Both of you are skilled in both long-range and short-range fighting, giving you an advantage in whatever way the fight turns out. Tsunade said, earning nods from the group. Naruto, since you have the most experience with Akatsuki, I want you to lead this mission. Should things go south during the mission, your main priority will be to get Itachi back to Konoha safely. We will deal with everything else then, alright? Hi, should things go bad, I'll send a toad in advance to let you know what is going on. Hopefully we will be able to get Itachi out without having to fight. If we are forced to fight, hopefully we will be able to make them retreat. With Itachi helping us, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. That being said, I'm going to get Itachi to help Yuga and Guy fight Kisame. Having been partnered with him, Itachi would know of his fighting style, as well as any weaknesses he has. Naruto said. Whatever you think is best, Naruto-kun. You should all get moving though. It will be a few days' trip to get to the border of Fire Country where Itachi is going. Tsunade said. With Itachi. Itachi flinched as he felt the first of his clones pop out of existence. Konan had been less than friendly about taking care of him, and judging by the look on her face the clone saw before dispersing, she was anything but pleased. While dealing with Konan herself probably wouldn't have been an issue for the older Uchiha, he knew Kisame was with her as well, tilting the scales in their favor should a confrontation happen. He just hoped his message had reached Konoha, and that Tsunade would send him suitable backup. The clone had managed to lead Konan and Kisame a fair amount of distance away from the real him, but if they were to catch on to his actual trail, he would only have a few days before they caught up with him. Giving a sigh, he stood up, stretching his body after the short break he had taken, before continuing on his way towards the border of the Land of Fire. He had had a feeling that Toby knew about him still being loyal to Konoha and working undercover in the Akatsuki. The masked man may have acted like an incompetent fool, but Itachi knew he was not someone to be provoked. If Toby knew I was a double agent, he would have known for a long time. Why would he wait till now to bring that fact to light? Something must have happened to force his hand. Itachi thought something big was happening, and he hoped he would be able to find the answers back in Konoha. Few days later, Naruto and his team were on guard as they approached the Anbu safe house from the cover of the forest. Stopping at the edge of the clearing, Naruto turned his head to Yuga before flashing through a few Anbu hand signs, sending her a silent message. Nodding towards her blonde teammate, Yuga closed her eyes and sent out a few waves of her chakra, looking for any signs of Itachi, or the two that had been following him. I only sense one presence, Naruto-kun. It's already inside the safe house, so I'm going to assume it's Itachi, Yuga said, earning a nod from Naruto. Alright, I agree that it's most likely Itachi, but don't let your guard down. Yuga-chan, keep your senses alert even after we go inside. Let me know immediately if you sense anyone outside. I'll go in first. Yuga-chan will be behind me, followed by Guy with Kakashi-sensei bringing up the rear. This safe house is still in operation, so be wary of traps, Naruto said, earning a collective nod before they left the cover of the tree line and made their way towards the entrance. Naruto's hand went towards the entrance but stopped as he felt a presence from right behind the door. Tensing and preparing for the worst, Naruto retracted his hand and watched as the door opened to reveal Itachi. Hello again, Naruto-kun. I'm kind of surprised Tsunade-sama would send you here. I told her 2 high-level Akatsuki members were after me, Itachi said emotionlessly as he stepped out of the bunker, no longer wearing his Akatsuki robes. I see you took some of the supplies that were left here, Naruto said as he gazed at Itachi, who was dressed in a standard Anbu uniform minus the mask. As for why I was sent here, I'm not the same person I was the last time you saw me, Weasel. I see if you know that name then you must have been in Anbu, fairly high ranking as well, Itachi said. If he was surprised, he didn't really show it. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. You will have to wait until we return to Konoha to get information like that, Naruto said. It would appear so. I'd recommend leaving as soon as possible. After escaping from pain, I created a couple shadow clones in hopes that they would lead Konan and Kisame away. One was dispelled a couple days ago, the other one ran out of chakra and dispelled on its own, leading me to believe that Konan and Kisame have found my actual trail. Itachi said, earning a nod from Naruto before a voice stopped them all. It took me a while to find you, Itachi-san. It would appear that Konoha was able to send help. That won't make a difference, you will die here today, a woman said as she landed in the clearing. Large wings made of paper formed out of her back. Konan-san, if you are here, then I'd guess Kisame isn't too far behind, Itachi said, as if on cue. A large blue man stepped out into the clearing. It's a shame you had to betray the Akatsuki, Itachi-san. I really enjoyed being your partner, Kisame said with a toothy grin, showing off his shark-like fangs. It would seem Konoha sent some high-level shinobi to assist you, including the Kyubi Jinchuriki. The brat sure has grown since the last time I saw him. Itachi, I want you to help Yuga and Guy fight Kisame. The three of you together should be able to either kill him or seriously wound him. Kakashi and I will deal with Konan, Naruto said, earning a nod before the group split off to fight their respective opponents. With Naruto and Kakashi raced through the trees, hoping to lead Konan away from the others so they could focus on their fight with Kisame without having to worry about Konan interfering. Landing in a clearing a short distance away, Naruto and Kakashi stood back to back, waiting for Konan to make her move. They didn't have to wait long as a hail of paper kunai rained in from above, forcing them to use kawarimi to dodge. Looking up, they saw Konan hovering slightly above the tree line, face set into a deep frown. I didn't expect Konoha to send their Jinchuriki, along with Sharingan no Kakashi. This could complicate things. I'll have to take care of you both quickly and help Kisame with Itachi, Konan said as she floated down to the ground and got into an offensive stance. Don't think that you will be able to defeat us so easily, Konan-san, Naruto replied as he unsealed his ninjato while Kakashi pulled up his forehead protector, revealing his Sharingan eye. They stood across from each other unmoving, almost as if they were sizing each other up. On an unspoken marker, Konan flew towards Naruto, who smirked as he pumped some Katan chakra through the blade, giving it a light red glow. Naruto slid under the paper kunai Konan had slashed at him with as thrust his sword up into her paper wing, detaching it from the rest of her body as she fell towards the ground, tumbling a few times before coming to a stop against a tree. Picking herself up off the ground, Konan spit a bit of blood out of her mouth before releasing her still intact wing. Glaring at Naruto, she made a few kami bunshins, paper clones, and sent two of them towards Kakashi, while she engaged Naruto again with the other following close behind. With Itachi and the others, Yuga, Guy and Itachi stood in a triangle pattern surrounding Kisame, who in turn just stood there with a smirk on his face. Samahata is hungry, Itachi-san. I've spent years studying the way you fight, figuring out way to beat you. Today is when I will get see how far I've come, Kisame said as he pulled the large sword off his back, before the bandages fell to the side, revealing the large scaly sword. She has wanted to taste your chakra for a very long time now. I don't think I need to tell either of you to be careful from here on out. Kisame is one of Akatsuki's strongest members. Be wary of his sword, Samahata, as well. It's a sentient sword that eats chakra, growing in size as it does so. This fight would be best fought close quarters, but don't let his sword get too close or it will expand and he will be able to shave the skin off your bones with it, Itachi said as his onyx eyes turned Sharingan red. Yuga and Guy nodded before assuming their respective offensive stances. Guy was the first to move, rushing at Kisame from behind, hoping to catch the large man off guard with a quick series of jabs and kicks. Kisame was ready, however, and used Samahata to block Guy's attacks before swinging the large sword in a horizontal arc, attempting to shatter a few ribs. Guy was ready for this, however, and dropped low to the ground as the large sword missed overhead, before using both hands to propel himself into an upkick that Kisame barely managed to dodge, moving his head back at the last second. Kisame then grabbed onto one of Guy's legs before throwing him over his shoulder, slamming him into the ground. Guy rolled out of the way as Kisame brought his foot down, creating a small indent where his head had just been, before distancing himself from the large shark-like man, attempting to regain the breath he had lost being slammed. I won't be forced to retreat like the last time we fought, Kisame said as he looked at Guy, causing the green-clad Jounin to raise an eyebrow at the declaration. We've fought before? Guy asked, causing Kisame, and to a lesser extent Itachi, to sweat drop. All bronze, no brains it would seem, Kisame said to himself before being forced to duck under a slash Yuga had sent at the back of his head. It's not very nice to sneak up on people like that when they are talking, Kisame said as he attempted to sweep Yuga's legs out from under her before engaging her in kenjutsu, pushing the smaller woman back with his powerful strikes. Ducking and weaving between Kisame's strikes, Yuga waited patiently for an opening to use her speed for a counter-attack. The moment came when Kisame made a rookie mistake by overextending his reach with a stab, enabling Yuga to duck around the large man, leaving a large horizontal cut across his gut. The gain in momentum was only temporary, however, as Yuga found Kisame's foot planted in her gut as he landed a heavy back kick and sent her skidding across the ground. Kisame smirked as he turned towards Itachi. The beast with no brain is still trying to catch his breath, while the pretty little Kenjutsu user probably won't be getting up for a little while. Looks like it's just you and me now, partner, Kisame said with a toothy grin as he rested Samehada on his shoulder. Indeed, Itachi replied emotionlessly as he unsheathed the ninjato strapped across his back. It had been a while since he used this particular weapon, but he hoped it would be enough. That puny blade won't work against Samehada for long, and I know to avoid looking at your Sharingan, Itachi-san. You may be able to catch others off guard, but it won't be as easy with me, Kisame said as he charged at Itachi. You don't have to look into my eyes for them to be effective. I can still sense where your movements are coming from, Itachi said as he sidestepped a large downward slash, before slashing Kisame across the arm. Using his speed, Itachi disappeared from Kisame's vision, reappearing behind him and leaving a large diagonal slash along his back before quickly disappearing again. Growling, Kisame did a complete 360 with Samehada, hoping to catch Itachi as he reappeared. Much to his surprise though, Itachi reappeared momentarily on top of Samehada, before Kisame felt a sharp pain in his gut. Looking behind him, he saw a smirking Yuga, ninjato blade deep in the small of his back, causing his eyes to widen slightly before coughing up blood. You made a rookie mistake, Kisame, believing an enemy was incapacitated without solid proof, and now you're going to pay for it, Itachi said, bringing Kisame's attention back to the older Uchiha, who was still standing atop Samehada, tip of his ninjato poised to strike at Kisame's jugular. Heck, Kisame breathed out heavily. It would seem that even after all these years you're still stronger than me, Itachi-san. In a one-on-one fight it might have ended differently, but you were at a disadvantage from the start, fighting against a ranked shinobi as well as myself. You should not have come here, Kisame, Itachi said, but his eyes narrowed when he saw Kisame smirk. Whoever said the fight was finished, Kisame said before dropping Samehada, throwing Itachi off balance, and quickly spun to knock Yuga away again. It was fun, Itachi-san, but you should know it won't be that easy to defeat me, Kisame said before gathering a large amount of chakra. Suetun, Baku Sui Shoha, Kisame shouted as he spit out a large amount of water before going through another set of hand signs. Suetun, Daibaku Funo Jutsu, Kisame shouted as a large torrent of water shot towards Yuga and Itachi, who quickly picked Guy up and got out of the way. It would seem this fight is over, Yuga-san. We should wait for Naruto-kun and Kakashi-san to return, Itachi said as he looked out over the clearing, not seeing any traces of Kisame. I agree with Itachi-san, the two of us are in no condition to fight Yuga-san, Guy said from his seated position. I trust in both Kakashi and Naruto-kun, they will be fine. With Naruto, it would seem that Kisame was forced to flee Konan-san. I would recommend doing the same, Naruto said as he destroyed another one of Kanan's Kami Bunshins with his ninjato. Kisame was fighting against not only Itachi, but two other high-ranked Konoha shinobi as well. I've got both you and Kakashi-san separated and that gives me the advantage, Konan replied as she sent a few exploding kunai towards Naruto. While I will admit the information we had on you was off, you have not shown me anything that leads me to believe you will defeat me. Naruto smirked as he used Kawarimi to get out of way of the exploding kunai before going through his next set of hand signs. Kirigaku no Jutsu, he said, creating a thick layer of mist that covered the clearing. It's a shame that you have fallen so far since being Jiraiya's student, Konan-san, Naruto said through the mist, causing Konan's eyes to widen. I don't think this is the path he wanted you three to go down. I know that pain is just Nagato's puppet, but what happened to Yahiko? Jiraiya said there were 3 of you, but from Itachi's information there are only 2 of you left. I don't know what you're talking about, Konan said, causing Naruto to scoff. Don't play dumb with me, Konan. I know exactly who you are. Orphans from the Second Shinobi War. Jiraiya found you 3 and instead of killing you like his teammate Orochimaru suggested, decided to train you 3. He had hoped that with Nagato's Rinnegan he would be the child of prophecy that the Elder Toad had told him about, but it looks like Nagato has succumbed to darkness, and is now going down the path of self-destruction, Naruto said, earning a snarl from Konan. How dare you speak of Nagato like that? You have no idea what we went through as children. Yahiko's dream was to create a world of peace, but when he died Nagato took over his dream and is working on fulfilling it, Konan replied through the mist. By gathering all the Biju to create a weapon of mass destruction, I may have been an idiot before, Konan, but even I know that creating a weapon like that will do anything but bring peace to this world, Naruto replied as he appeared behind Konan, slicing the back of her knee, causing her to drop to one knee. I also know how the 2 of you came into power in AIM, destroying a major part of the village in your fight with Hanzo, killing lots of innocent families. Since then Nagato has ruled AIM like a tyrant. He may have freed the people from Hanzo, but they still live in fear of him. You have no idea what you're talking about, Konan shouted as she tried to stand, only to be struck down again. Naruto buried his fist in her stomach. I know more than you think, Conan-san. I'm not going to kill you, but when you return to AIM, take a walk around the village not as the angel as they so appropriately call you, but use a henge and go as a regular civilian, interact with the people and see what they think of your glorious leader's rule. Naruto said, and Conan couldn't help but blush lightly at Naruto's choice of words about her nickname. While you're doing that, think about what kind of weapon Nagato is currently trying to build. It's a weapon of mass destruction, not a weapon of peace. What good would a world without wars be if there is no one alive to enjoy it? You know nothing of peace. Conan spat. You're absolutely right. I don't know what peace is, nor do I know how to achieve it. Naruto started, but I have people who believe that I will be able to achieve it, and I can't let my friends down. One last word of advice, Conan-san. Be wary of the man with the spiral mask. He is not who he seems to be. There are larger powers at work in this world, and as of right now, Akatsuki is the least of my worries. That was the last thing Conan heard, and her world went black as Naruto delivered a quick chop to the back of her neck before ending his hidden mist jutsu. Letting out a sigh, Naruto expanded his senses, locating Kakashi and the rest of the group back in the clearing they found Itachi in. Naruto used a shunshin to get to the clearing quickly, before doing a quick once-over of his team. Kakashi seemed a little tired and had a few cuts and bruises around his body. Yuga was breathing a little heavy and holding her side, while both Guy and Itachi seemed to be somewhat okay. How did it go, Naruto? Kakashi asked. It went fine. We fought a bit. I talked to her about a few things, then I left her unconscious with a message to deliver to Pain, and hopefully a lot on her mind to think about. Naruto replied, We should get back to Konoha though, we can discuss everything else there. -3 days later, Konoha. After sneaking Itachi in relatively easily, Naruto and his team could be found standing in front of Tsunade, reporting how their mission went. So let me get this straight, you three. Tsunade started, pointing at Guy, Yuga and Itachi, fought Kisame and forced him to retreat. Hi Tsunade-sama. Yuga clarified. While the two of you fought Konan and a few of her clones. She continued, pointing at Naruto and Kakashi. Kakashi was able to end the fight relatively unscathed from what you told me. You decided to let her live in hopes that she would deliver a message to Pain, and to think about what you told her? Yeah. Naruto said, hearing it from Tsunade. It really didn't sound like the best plan ever, but he had his reasons for it. I can't think of a reason why you would do something like that on second thought. I don't want to know. Tsunade said with a sigh, I'm getting too old for this shit. In all honesty, Tsunade-sama, Konan didn't come across as an evil person. She is blindly following her last remaining friend as he is going down a dark path, leading her to do the same. I wanted her to take my advice in hopes of pushing her, so to say, back on the path that Jiraiya had hoped they would go on. Whether or not she does is up to her. I will not spare her a second time should another fight between us occur. Naruto said. Make sure that you don't brat. Now we just need to figure out what to do about you, Itachi. Tsunade said as she looked at the older Uchiha. There are two ways we can do this. We can tell the village about the planned coup d'etat, and the role that you played in making sure it didn't happen. You would probably be welcomed back as a hero. If you do not want the village to know about it, then it won't be as easy. I could probably get the sentence brought down from execution to jail time, but I couldn't guarantee how long it would last. Tsunade said. I would prefer to not let the village know about what really happened that night. The Uchiha clan had fallen far enough from grace before I killed them, but my other option isn't that great either. The most likely case is I would be thrown in jail and have my chakra sealed off until I was released, making me unable to serve the village. Itachi replied, earning a nod from Tsunade. May I suggest something, Tsunade-sama? Naruto asked. Of course, Naruto-kun. Tsunade replied. I suggest leaving the announcement of Itachi's return to the village until I've been named the new Uzumaki clan head. After that you can explain to the village and the council that Itachi came back willingly, and that I've taken him as my responsibility. Naruto explained. The council still won't like that. They will probably argue that he came back in an attempt to kill you, or someone else, before disappearing again. Tsunade said, receiving a nod from Naruto. Alright then, how about this? The Uzumaki clan has a seal similar to the caged bird seal that the Hyuga use. However, I'm able to link it directly to a certain part of the person's body. If I was to say link it to Itachi's heart, I would be able to kill him without a second glance should something happen. Itachi is loyal to this village, that much is certain, but the council and civilians will still be in fear of him. With my seal it will at least give them a means of security. It would also be safe to assume that the council would want Itachi close to me as much as possible, so he would probably be coming on missions with me, as well as being a temporary resident in my compound. Naruto said, and before you ask, the only person able to use a seal that has been placed is the person who has placed it, so Itachi will not have to worry about someone else trying to kill him. That could work. How do you feel about it, Itachi? Tsunade asked. Having to have the seal placed would be less than satisfactory, but from what I've seen so far, Naruto-kun has grown in leaps and bounds since I last saw him, and I'm willing to place my trust in him. Given my other options, I don't really have much of a choice if I want to still be an active part of Konoha's shinobi forces anyways," Itachi said, earning a nod from Tsunade. "Alright, well, I will call a council meeting in a few days then, just lay low till then. Naruto's compound should have everything you need to last a few days, training grounds included," Tsunade said before she dismissed the 5 of them. "Come on, Itachi, might as well show you your new hideout for the next few days," Naruto said as he grabbed Itachi's shoulder and left via Shunshin, followed shortly by Yuga. "So Tsunade started, either of you want to make a bet on when Yuga or Naruto will confess their feelings for one another?" Tsunade asked with a smirk. "Hopefully not long, Tsunade-sama. I think it would be good for the both of them," Kakashi replied with Guy nodding in agreement. With Naruto and Itachi appeared just inside the gate of his compound, and not being one for admiring scenery, Itachi requested being shown to his room right away. After putting his things away, Naruto gave Itachi a quick tour of the house and the yard, making sure Itachi knew where each of the training fields was located. "Well, that's pretty much it, Itachi. If you need anything else, just ask me or Yuga. Breakfast is usually prepared around 8 am, and supper is usually around 6, depending on if we have a mission or not," Naruto said. After receiving a nod from Itachi, he set out to find Yuga, who he had felt enter shortly after arriving with Itachi. "Yuga-chan, are you in here?" Naruto asked as he knocked on the door. Not getting a reply but hearing a slight rustling in the room, he opened the door, only to go rigid in shock. On the far side of the room, Yuga was bent over rummaging through something in her drawer and nothing but a wet towel that left almost nothing to the imagination. Naruto's eyes trailed up from the floor, following Yuga's long silky smooth legs right up to her heart-shaped rear end. As Yuga straightened up, Naruto noticed how her long purple hair flowed to the small of her back, and he had to admit that it looked a lot better let down. Then she turned, going as stock still as Naruto had, giving him time to take in her beautiful curvy figure from the front, taking in the way her bounce slightly from her sudden stop, before looking up to her beautiful face that had gone a shade of red not even Hinata could match. "And Naruto!" Yuga yelled, breaking Naruto out of his trance. "Ah fuck, I'm sorry Yuga-chan, I had no idea," Naruto shouted as he dodged the various amount of things Yuga found to throw at him. "Where the fuck did she pull that sword from?" he thought to himself as a ninjato embedded itself in the wall directly behind him. "That doesn't excuse the fact that you were staring at me in nothing but a towel," Yuga argued. "I said I was sorry, I was just captivated by your beauty, that's all," Naruto said honestly, causing Yuga to stop throwing things and blush once again. "Ah really?" she stammered out. "Yeah, I didn't know you had just gotten out of the shower, I just wanted to know if you wanted to train or something," Naruto said. "I'll be downstairs whenever you're dressed, come find me and we can talk." Sure, but you owe me for this, Naruto-kun," Yuga said. Naruto just waved it off and left, leaving a flustered Yuga alone in her room. He said I was beautiful. Sometime later, after Yuga had gotten dressed, the two of them decided to waste a little time doing a little kenjutsu practice, and after nursing the numerous cuts and lacerations Yuga had left over his body, Naruto had offered to take her for a walk around Konoha in the early evening light, eventually winding up on the Yondame's head. The two of them lay there in relative silence, as they gazed up towards the sky as the stars began to line the night sky. "You know," Yuga started, gaining Naruto's attention, "aside from that little stunt you had walking in on me earlier, I had a lot of fun this afternoon, Naruto-kun, thank you. You aren't going to forget that for a while, are you?" Naruto sighed out, earning a slight giggle from Yuga as she shook her head. "Whatever, I'm glad that you did, because I did too. It's been a long time since we have been able to hang out like this." "Yeah," Yuga said. In the Anbu they hardly had time to hang out as just regular friends with all the missions and training they were forced to do, but she had always enjoyed the moments of peace they had managed to share over the past 3 years. "Hey Yuga-chan, can I ask you something?" Naruto said. "Of course, Naruto-kun. I need to talk to Hinata about how I feel, but I don't know how to tell her without destroying what little confidence she has left." Naruto started. "While we were never really talked during my time in the academy, I still consider her a friend. I want to let her down without hurting her too much. I think that no matter how you tell her, you are going to hurt her." Yuga started, causing Naruto to sigh. "That girl, whatever her reasons may be, has devoted herself to you. I watched as she used to follow you everywhere when the two of you were younger. She watched as your hard work and determination overcame the obstacles in your early life, and I think that she wanted to eventually be like you, in hopes that she would gain your attention and would return her feelings. I see, I don't know what to do, Yuga-chan. I've faced S-ranked criminal after S-ranked criminal and never faltered, but when it comes to girls I turn into a complete idiot," Naruto said, causing Yuga to giggle at his antics. "I'm sure you will find a way, Naruto-kun, you always do," Yuga said with a smile. "Thanks, Yuga-chan," Naruto said, earning a nod from said purple-haired woman, before she slid a little closer to Naruto and rested her head on his chest, enjoying the sound of his heartbeat. What are you doing, Yugao-chan? Naruto stammered as he stiffened slightly at the feeling of Yugao's head on his chest, earning another giggle from her. Looking up, Yugao noticed the slight red hue on Naruto's cheeks, and after a moment of hesitation decided to go one step further, as she reached up and cupped Naruto's cheek, earning a curious look from the blonde before his eyes widened as he felt her lips press against his. It took Naruto a few moments to realize what was going on, but as soon as he did, he returned the kiss, making Yugao smile on the inside. The kiss held no lust, no want, just years of pent-up emotions. No words were needed to describe what the two of them were feeling. The kiss was doing that better than words ever could. Does this mean that Naruto started, but was stopped as Yuga put a finger up against his lips? I want to take this slow, Naruto-kun. I'm not sure what I feel for you right now, but I don't want to miss this chance. For now, let's just enjoy this, Yuga said as she placed her head back on his chest. A soft smile graced her lips as she felt Naruto wrap his arm around her shoulders, pulling her closer to his body. Yeah, I could get used to this, they both thought.